Hello, guys. This is me, Mr. Tyrex here, and welcome to Tyrex Lounge.
It be the cool Cole, and don't you forget it.
And I'm Grant
And
Harper. I'm the emotional guy.
and and the Dragon Lover 95 here back once again.
Where we left off, Cosmonaut was doing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. We ripped him to shreds on this one, and now we're going on to
Attack of the Cosmonaut.
Attack of the Clones.
We might be able to do both this and Revenge of the Sith if we
Have
yeah,
time.
if we manage our time, I guess.
Oh, it's good that you actually muted it because it plays the Star's main theme on that part.
Yeah. Alright.
Let's
Get
endure this. Yeah.
God help me.
Oh,
Star Wars Episode 2 is basically as bad as The Phantom Menace. I tried pretty hard to figure out which one of these movies is worse, and I'm having a really hard time figuring that out right now. But I think if you held a gun up to my head and made me answer, I'd probably say that this one is marginally better.
Well, you're more punchable with that voice in this
Oh,
one.
I see.
Oh, yeah.
Give
Yeah.
me which one is it?
That's the Archie series.
Yes. Clunk.
Hold on.
Bash it with the hammer.
Okay. Well, very well. Let's continue.
Yes.
Sith.
Yes, and we still got that dislike bar. That dislike bar is not something I want to talk about.
I disliked it, so yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
The Phantom Menace is bad because it's boring and it doesn't really feel like a real movie, but technically once you
What?
fi-
It
Real
doesn't feel
not
like a real movie.
yeah, something by the original creator.
The original
What?
creator brought you the original trilogy. Cosmonaut, why are you... Jesus, Lord help me.
It doesn't feel like a real movie. You know what?
But your
actually
Disney
doesn't-
garbage does?
You know
We'll
what
get
also
back
doesn't
to that.
feel. You want to know what doesn't feel like a real movie is the Mulan remake.
I never saw it, but I just don't want to bother with that.
I don't want to spend $30.
I just don't.
I didn't see it.
You're not missing anything. Essentially, we got another Mary Sue to add to the trifecta now.
And yeah. After 5+ months wait, it's not worth it.
No, okay. We all knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
figure out this story, it is sort of comprehensible. Then you compare this to Attack of the Clones, where structurally it feels like more of a real movie. The characters have traits, there's a few cute interactions, but nothing the characters do make any sense, and the story is absolute nonsense. But for what
So
it's
you're
worth,
talking
this
about The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yes, then you'd be correct.
That'd be correct. Mm-hmm.
movie is way more entertaining to watch because it is just a hot mess. It's probably the worst
like this
plot
too.
in the entire Star Wars saga. To the point where I could spend this whole review just explaining the story and you would fully understand what I mean. So that's exactly what we're
really.
gonna do. So the movie starts off and tells us this.
There is unrest in the Galactic Senate. Several thousand solar systems have declared their intentions to leave the Republic.
Okay, but joking
for
aside,
fuck's
this is supposed to
sake, Cosmonaut, do you seriously have the lowest fucking attention span that you can't even read the first paragraph?
Well,
Ugh.
you want to know what's
Gosh.
You want to
So
know
you're
what
more,
is a more
so you're more
fun.
interesting in Luke Skywalker has vanished, the First Order reign, and the dead speak.
Well, no.
Okay. Yeah, okay. It's official. Cosmonaut is a college dropout.
Well, in all honesty, that you're, yeah,
We
it
don't
kind of
know.
looks that way. But
Yeah.
really,
We
this
don't.
is pretty much why the whole sequel trilogy and like The Last Jedi and even The Rise of Skywalker. Well, yeah, The Rise of Skywalker. They were all movies that just felt like they were on speed with the pacing, and that like Disney felt like the audience just had a low attention span, so they had to just keep throwing shit at us. Like this is pretty much the reason why, because these assholes on the internet just have a 5-second attention span.
Yep. Just focus on the visuals. Don't focus on the story. Yeah, fuck it. Turn off your brain. We're having fun.
Good
be the
grief.
main driving force for the plot. These separatists don't want to be part of the Republic. But why not? Well, I hope you...
Because
Well,
the Senate is corrupt.
Yes, and also, like, when first Star Wars came out, like, the Empire has taken control of the galaxy, but what is their whole goal and everything? Like, well, we aren't shown too much else, so therefore, you complaining about the separatists and stuff and their motivations not being shown is just as contradictory. I mean, Star Wars should be simple.
Yes, we remember that.
Also, I hate to say this, but what's Cosmonaut's session with this with Hydra City Zone playing in the background? Is that the Sonic Mania version of the theme, or
yes,
theme? Because
Yes.
why does it keep playing in every single Cosmonaut video? Just have some variety.
yes, hence why you're called Cosmonaut Variety Hour.
You get a different zone theme, Act 1, Act 2, like Death Egg Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or Emerald Hill Zone.
I'm hoping he doesn't review the Archie comics nor the IDW comic and praise Ian Flynn and say Penders is the worst writer. He is awful.
You want to know a little something that'll bring up Nights into Dream Season 2.
Oh boy.
Season 2?
Let's just say that itself is a madness of nightmares. I can show you afterwards.
Yeah, the first part was good, but the second part was just a dumpster fire.
Yep.
But anyway,
Plus, it was basically Ken Burner's tryout, and it did not work.
No.
Well, seems legit. Okay.
You are prepared to die with that question in your mind because this movie is not interested in telling us. Maybe go read one of the books or something. Alright, so the rest of the crawl tells us that the Jedi are overwhelmed by the Separatists. But overwhelmed how? The Separatists aren't hurting anybody. There aren't any battle droid attacks at this point.
Well, they're preparing.
They're preparing to attack. They're going to unleash a whole droid army on the Republic. So the Republic, in a way, needs an army, and yes, they're trying to prepare for it. Well,
and the Jedi can't do it on their own.
No, they're also stretched across the galaxy too. Mm-hmm.
They're pretty much peacekeepers.
But yes, they're supposed to be peacekeepers, not soldiers. Hence why they don't want to go to war.
And we're gonna save Yoda's character for that.
I'm gonna have fun there.
Yes.
Yes.
I got some clips too. A couple of clips to play.
Good. Okay.
First thing the Jedi say in this movie is that Dooku and the Separatists aren't violent and they just have different political leanings. So why are the Jedi overwhelmed? Why do we need to create an army? What do you mean by civil unrest? Well, I hope you are prepared.
Because they're building an army.
And
yes.
Not to mention, also, there's a certain someone Dooku and Sidious hired that's going to make another army for the Republic. So,
yes.
So this entire war, in a span of months or even years, will serve as a distraction so that Palpatine could gain power over the Senate and the entire galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's a simple-minded goal.
Oh gosh.
What a dumbass.
You can't spell simple without simp.
No.
IQ 300 my ass.
Prepared to die with these questions in your head because this movie has no interest in telling you why any of these things are happening. But whatever, that shit doesn't matter. We just need Padme in the city so she can get blown up. So in this movie, Palpatine is trying to kill Padme.
That's not what's supposed to happen. The attempt is... Well, okay, it's different. Well, we'll get to it in a sec.
Why? Well, it's because Padme is here to vote against creating a military force for the Republic. And I guess Palpatine doesn't really want that because he has his own army and he wants to control it. But the assassination attempt...
No. Okay, Palpatine does not want to kill Padme, okay? It is Newt Gunray who wants to.
Exactly. Hence why there's a moment during Genos' arena scene where Duke Montgomery says, "Shoot, look, this possible shoot her or something."
Yes.
And Dooku's like going with it. He's just like, he doesn't even give a shit what happens or not.
Yeah.
Just stop about a third of the way through the movie. I guess it's so that Anakin and her can hang out more. But then he still has Padme thrown into an arena to be eaten by Pokemon. So what?
No. She was not supposed to be there in the first place.
Yeah,
was
that's not part of Sidious's plan.
Yes.
What's the plan here, buddy? Give me something consistent. Do you want her dead or not? Oh, don't worry, bro. It's all a part of Palpatine's plan. Can I just say that I fucking hate this way of writing? Oh, let's make it so our villain can predict the future. So then when anything happens that contradicts information we're given, we can just say, oh, it's fine. He knew it was gonna happen. See? Oh, he killed the Jedi and took over the galaxy. All according to plan. But if
You are so fucking punchable with your personality, dude.
Yeah.
You're one of the most unintelligent human beings I've ever witnessed. Who raised you and who lectured you to that mindset?
Oh my god.
Palpatine's plan works because he plays both sides in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you actually try and think about the circumstances of everything, it makes total sense.
If you line it up piece by piece, it's the biggest fucking joke in the whole series.
You make me happy.
Oh my god, Ty, I am basically reminded of that video you basically did.
Yes.
Entire timeline. First, he supports the Trade Federation so he can control space trade.
Like I said before, he doesn't give a shit about that. He just wants to gain political power.
Yes, he's using it as a tragedy he's using the tragedy of Naboo to gain political power in the corrupt Senate.
Yep.
Simple as
However,
that.
the Jedi shut down the Federation, so he starts a new organization of planets that don't like the Republic. At the same time, he's building a secret army. So now he has two armies, an army of clones and an army of robots. Oh, but
Yes, so he could gain power to be the Emperor of the Galaxy.
And serve the Clone Wars as a distraction.
Yes.
Padme is going to make things difficult, so he has to kill her. But
he doesn't want her dead. She wants her to have her life be put in danger, so that way she gets off of Coruscant, so that Palpatine, so he can manipulate the Boo senators without Padme.
Yeah.
To announce emergency powers.
Yeah, so he could use Jar Jar Binks to gain emergency powers for the clone army. That's how it works.
And then right off the bat, start the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm. From that assassination point, you think Darth Sidious did it on purpose so he can kill her, but no.
That was Newt Gunray.
Oh, Newt Gunray.
Yes.
My bad. But it's a way. It's a way. Remember when Owen said, like, I sensed it too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, he knew that the Jedi would be able to intervene in everything, and that Anakin would have to get off the planet with her.
Of course.
Or Anakin would he be to protect her on Naboo. So, yeah.
Messes up and doesn't kill her. But that's okay. He actually wants Anakin to get close to her and fall in love, but then he tries to have her killed anyway. Right?
Yes, because he knows Anakin shows attachments.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he's grooming him so he can become his soon apprentice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right after that, you're really lucky that none of these Pokemon ate her, because then Anakin would just be a good guy forever, and your plan wouldn't work.
Okay, can you stop calling them Pokemon? That's not funny. Okay.
That doesn't look anything like a Pokemon.
No.
Doesn't he even know what a Pokemon is?
Good question. I don't think so. It's short for pocket monsters, so basically Cosmonaut is a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what
Yes.
They're called.
He played the games or watched the anime.
They're called, like, the big red one is called a Reek, the green one with the legs is called a Nexu, and the small one is the Acklay. Or no, wait. The Nexu, is that... I think the Acklay is the green one. The Nexu is the big one, and shit, I think I mixed up the names.
I don't even know. I don't know the monsters.
But I know that because I actually look at a visual dictionary for these movies, so that's how I know some.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Padme doesn't matter. He unveils both armies at the same time and he makes them fight each other secretly. And over the next few years, he orchestrates an entire war between two armies that he secretly funded so that people will democratically vote for him to be king of space so that he can end the war that he started with his two secret armies. And then as king of space, he kills all the Jedi and gets rid of both armies. And then he rules for like...
So that no one else can oppose him. That's how it...
There's like a mixture of clones that committed suicide or like went to stormtrooper outfits.
Essentially, yeah, that he executes Order 66 as an easy way to kill off all the Jedi, and then he has Anakin kill off the Separatists so that no one can oppose him, so that they'll turn the Republic into the Empire. That's how it works.
And the Separatist leaders are all killed, slaughtered.
Also, Marcus, democratically, what does Democrats got to do with Star Wars? Democratically, are you fucking kidding me, Marcus? Lay off the politics. Anyway, press on.
Like 20-ish years, and then Anakin throws him in a hole and he dies. There are so many holes in that plan that I don't even have time to break it all down. It would take an entire video.
You're just too lazy. Why not make a separate video of why Palpatine's plan doesn't work?
Yeah, and he never did. So therefore, Cosmonauts, you screwed up. You tried to pick it apart and you failed miserably. All right.
It would actually be better for the story if you told me he couldn't predict the fucking future, because this plan reads like it's made by someone who can't. So anyway, Obi-Wan and Anakin go to...
That's the reason how he was able to gain the power, because he was smart, because he was he was a strategist. He was able to play he would play the game of chess and won.
Checkmate. A manipulator, a liar, and a mischievous one at that.
Protect Padme. And I love how the first person to talk in this scene is Jar Jar. I also love how he literally stops, looks at the camera, and smiles, as if to say, "That's right, fuckers, I'm not going anywhere."
OG Lucas!
Fuck you.
Yeah. Also, Marcus, so what?
He's only in the movie for what, like a total of 2 minutes?
Because idiots like you complain about comic relief. And say that he's a Jamaican stereotype.
And for people to say that George didn't listen to fans, well, having Jar Jar and less in the movie in the second movie was certainly him listening to the fans, and also him choosing. And also, I know this is different, but him actually choosing to bring back Maul in the Clone Wars was him listening to fans. So therefore, I don't know what to say about you people that think that George didn't listen.
I'd also like to point out that while we now have more scenes of characters actually having heart-to-heart conversations, they're all awful because they're written in the most unnatural way. For the most part, this...
Okay, could you show an example? Show a fucking example, please.
Here's the thing, Marcus, in case you didn't know. In case you haven't read you haven't listened to the audio commentaries or look at the behind the scenes. Here's the thing. George Lucas, as I said, George Lucas grew up watching movies from the gold and silver and even the bronze era. He's used to that kind of acting within those eras. So that's why the dialogue written in not only the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy too are written in that style. With the prequels on the hand, especially for episode 2, written in more of a Shakespeare-like sense.
Yeah, in a way, like, it's just, the dialogue isn't bad, it's mostly stylized to be different. And it's just, well, people only saw it as bad because he said, I don't like sand, or I killed them, I slaughtered them like animals.
Without any context.
It's just that people who hate the prequels don't fully understand. They don't even watch the movies from the golden or silver age. They have acting like this, like Casablanca, for instance, so...
But I guess people just still like need to fill in their agendas or something.
Or I just want more exposition. And then you got movie, and then you see movies like The Mummy 2015. They criticize it for heavy amounts of exposition. Hypocrisy has full finest.
Yes, that is a big definite.
Hey,
The movie has some pretty good actors, and they have no way to make this awful dialogue sound natural.
I don't know why I keep dreaming about her.
Dreams pass in time.
I'd much rather dream about Padme.
What the fuck?
Around her.
So
Context!
Okay, dude.
It's called context. Get it right, Cosmonaut. It's
he's having
context.
It's because of his attachment to his mother. He's having dreams about her, so he says, "I'd much rather dream about Padme." It's a way to calm himself down.
And he hasn't saw Padme in like 10 years.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Well,
Padme,
that's another.
the woman who just had an assassination attempt less than a day ago, sleeps in her room alone with giant windows with the blinds open. So obviously, under these circumstances,
They kind of look close to me.
Well,
Exactly.
the droid like essentially like cuts through it, I believe, like the glass, so that it can get the bugs. But yeah.
It has a really good detector too. And it can see through walls and such.
Yes.
She's basically begging to be assassinated. And the following scene is probably the funniest shit in the whole movie.
Also, that's because, well, she's using herself as bait in order to find the assassin. And this also will trace back to a certain thing that he's going to rant about in a few minutes.
So this little probe droid sends in little poison bugs to kill Padme, but our heroes catch it right in the nick of time. And then Obi-Wan fucking jumps out the window. What is his plan? What?
He is reckless at stuff too. He does jump into battles.
And a bit of a hypocrite too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and that is actually something I realize now with that he always says that Anakin is reckless, but he acts reckless too. So he in a way he kind of has a lack of self-awareness, which is a big flaw with him.
And
so,
he wants
ever notice in episode 1 how Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan differs in terms of their thoughts and stuff?
And he jumps into the fight with Grievous, and he also goes by himself to disable the tractor beam on the Death Star and then fight Vader. And that was a mistake that bit him right in the ass.
Well, he used himself as a way for them to escape.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing the tractor beam was in a way kind of reckless, but that pretty much just equates to him being like very flawed as a master, and why he isn't able to keep Anakin from turning to the dark side because of his own hypocrisy. And that's how Anakin ended up seeing the Jedi as hypocrites in their own way, which turned him to the dark side. So therefore,
because Mace Windu was about to
kill him, which could lead Mace Windu to the dark side. So if he did kill Palpatine,
yes,
yeah, I feel that
soon.
way too. Yeah, we'll get to that. Right.
Has Marcus ever seen Doctor No? Because this assassination attempt is pretty much, especially with the worm bugs, is pretty much inspired by the tarantula assassination scene in Doctor No.
I need to watch that again. I have it on DVD.
Doctor No.
Yeah, Doctor No.
I have the Sean Connery collection of the James Bond movies.
Huh. Well, you know what? I think I've actually seen an example of stuff like that. Would be nice. Okay.
What's his endgame here, and why is he the one who jumped out the window? Anakin just got done talking about how much he loves Padme and how he's obsessed with her. So I'd almost accept this if Anakin was the one who jumped out the window. Isn't he supposed to be the brash?
He couldn't, though. He couldn't because he was cutting up the bugs that were about to poison her. He didn't have enough time to get to the droid because Obi-Wan noticed it first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what's your big deal there.
No.
You just pay attention, perhaps.
headstrong apprentice who acts without thinking. But then the worst part is that later, Obi-Wan gets mad at Anakin for doing the same thing. He has no right to get upset when Anakin jumps out of the fucking car. He's like, oh, my apprentice is so headstrong and stupid and he acts without thinking. Bro, 2 minutes ago, you jumped out the window to grab a tiny robot. You are lucky to be alive.
Patience.
Well,
Oh, here comes a funny moment, too.
Well, essentially, him grabbing the droid was the only way that it could lead them to the attempted assassin. And, well, okay, yeah, here comes what's gonna negate that, his own stupid points. Think.
We want to hear that again?
Yeah, do it again. It's like the only thing that keeps this from being unwatchable.
All right.
Think.
That's my favorite part in the edits.
Yes, it keeps it from at least us being miserable while doing this shit.
Yes.
They catch the assassin and they find out that she is a shapeshifter.
Changeling.
Okay, I actually read in the visual dictionary that she is labeled as a shapeshifter, but it's not like to the same degree that, say, like a shapeshifter that can turn into objects. It's just she can turn into different creatures if she when she comes in contact with them. That's it.
And
like,
Anakin first discovers it when he saw her face changing in the vehicle.
And I do find it jarring that, like, it wasn't until many years later I found out she was a shapeshifter. Well, and when I read the book, because I never noticed that as a child. I never noticed her changing for a few seconds while in the vehicle. And so when she gets shot by the dart, I thought that's what the dart was doing to her, was deforming it because of its poison. Like, yeah, that's weird. But yeah,
this is just screenwriting 101. But why is
Screenwriting 101? Screenwriting 101. You stop referencing Mr. Plinkett for once. Stop referencing that garbage episode 3 review. Anyway, we're these rocking Star Wars prequels. Guess I have to go back to Screenwriting 101. God help me.
Oh my god.
Is she a shapeshifter? What does this actually bring to the plot of this story? Does she at any point shapeshift in this movie to affect the story? Nope. Even when they're looking for her in the bar, this would be a great opportunity to have her turn into something else to avoid being found.
No.
Can you stop regurgitating what the unusual suspect says, please? Because that doesn't help your case. You're just being unoriginal.
Yep.
George said in like one of his in one of the in the DVD stuff, said that he just wanted to do the classical walk in the Western bar and someone try to shoot them and they react about it. Like, that's just what he wanted to do. Like, her being a changeling it's just as a means of world building, more of just that, hey, changelings exist in Star Wars now.
Yeah.
Hey, what were you saying, Tyrex?
Yeah, like an object that can turn into anything. Well, George Lucas said it's a changeling, a person that can shapeshift their face, not their entire body.
Too bad the visual dictionary just labeled as a shapeshifter. Oversight.
Yeah.
And they did have a changeling with Cad Bane in the Clone Wars, I can recall, that turns into forget that old woman in the Jedi Temple that Obi-Wan talks to about the archives. But yeah, she actually the changeling turns into her and tries to fight Ahsoka but fails. So, and it was her whole body. So therefore it's just different creatures, but not different objects. Okay, just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yes.
But no, she doesn't do it. Why did George make her a shapeshifter?
Oh, shut up.
Oh, shut up. I think it's because she has time limits to change her face. And plus, there's thousands of people in the bar.
Of course.
If she I guess maybe you could say if she decided to change in one, then people would probably notice and point it out. But still, like, why did she even go into the bar in the first place? Shouldn't she like try to escape from them? And also, yeah, like, why isn't he complaining something about more of her like shooting the droid instead of Obi-Wan? Like that, I feel is kind of stupid.
And plus, they would sense her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's true though, but still, she'd probably. Well, okay.
Spider-Man. So.
Okay, well let's not go on for too long about it.
The characters bring it up in a way that shows that it might be significant.
And I think she's a changeling.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, be extra careful.
But if you go back into this movie and you pretend that she's just a regular person, it doesn't change anything. These are just the basic rules of writing a story. Now this
Will
scene
you
is
shut up as if you even know basic rules of
George wants
like
to
to
tell
see you
his
do it
own
better.
fucking story. If he wants to see how shapeshifters work in Star Wars, he will fucking show how shapeshifters work in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you just go on and nitpick something for a while, and then go and complain about something else that's not, and then also go and say that we should accept the dumb shit. So therefore, yeah, it's just more contradictory bullshit coming out of this asshole.
Right now, Marcus is defeated and utterly invalid.
It's funny to me because if you take it and try to figure out exactly what's happening and why it's happening, it becomes hilarious. So I'm gonna have everybody try to follow along with me real quick.
Okay, we're still here. We're gonna follow you. We're gonna follow you along real well. Let's listen. Let's pay attention to you, shall we? Let's get the show started.
So Palpatine needs Padme dead.
No,
But he doesn't.
no. It's the topic we were on earlier. There was Newt Gunray that started the killing thing. Palpatine wanted to make sure Padme's off Coruscant, as if her life was in danger.
Yes, he. Why would he have the Jedi protect her if he wanted her dead? That's stupid, Marcus. Actually, pay attention.
Please, for once.
Doesn't want to do it himself, so he asks Count Dooku to go kill Padme.
No, Dooku's No, Dooku doesn't want to kill Padme. He lets the Separatists deal it. Like Kiara Moody said in the movie.
Yes, like he has his own goals and motivations at the moment. Padme should be of little concern.
And also, yes, but that was this. He did send Padme to go kill for execution, but that wasn't his call. That was the Separatist Council call.
Yes, and there was also a deleted scene where he talks about her joining everything and says that the Republic cannot be saved, which I kind of wish they kept in the movie because I feel like it shows more of his character.
And Dooku even shows mercy too.
Yes, multiple times, but we'll also get to that.
Yes.
But Count Dooku doesn't want to do it himself, so Count Dooku asks Jango Fett to go kill Padme.
No, that was Newt Gunray who asked Jango Fett to go kill Padme.
Mm-hmm.
But Jango Fett doesn't want to do it himself.
Yeah, you do have a point there, but there's like guys who he's a professional bounty hunter who does carry out jobs for hiring a middleman to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
Like the Joker from Batman doesn't kill his victims personally.
Well, yeah, I
don't know about Dark Knight though.
Yeah, it's been years since I watched it, but you know what? Let's get back to the video.
Yeah.
So he asks his shapeshifter friend to go kill Padme, but the shapeshifter sends a...
Dude, security is tight in that fucking building, dude. Cosmonaut.
This is... Yeah, see, this pretty much negates, like, all of his complaints of of
Late in
Obi-Wan
the
going
game.
to grab the tiny droid, because essentially this is their way of trying not to be able to trace who is trying to kill Padme.
If they
And
go,
so therefore,
if they go in the building, they would get caught instantly.
so they got to. He says he wants to do it in a more subtle way.
Robot to go kill Padme. And if you really want to be an asshole and get even more granular, the droid says, I'll send these little bugs to go kill Padme.
You're just so fucking punchable right now with that voice.
Seriously.
I wish I could just throat punch you right now.
Exactly. Zam did it to take him by. Jango and Zam did it to take them by surprise. To take Anakin Obi-Wan by surprise. To take them by surprise. To take them by surprise. Caught off guard.
Yes. This is why they had trouble actually being able to trace it back to Jango Fett, because they used these in-depth methods and everything. So therefore, yeah, that also negates your point of Obi-Wan just, well, being reckless, though. But I mean, I kind of feel like it does, because yeah, what other methods could they have done to be able to trace them? If the droid got away, guess what? They wouldn't be able to find out who it was. They would get away.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Yeah,
continue?
you don't have
Yes, keep on going.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to this asshole's voice.
All right, so let's get to the best part, shall we?
Sure.
Palpatine sends a man who sends a man who sends a shapeshifter who sends a robot who sends bugs to go kill Padme. And what's even funnier is that after they chase the robot and the shapeshifter, Jango has a chance to go kill Padme.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
That's why they did. That's why he gave her the bugs to do that in the first place. It was a more subtle method.
If he were to break the window, he would get instantly caught and would get caught from a fraud he committed.
Also,
and which would lead back to Newt Gunray, and they find out he was the one who hired Jango Fett to kill Padme.
And also Marcus, I hate to say this, did you remember what Jango said to Zam? There will be no mistakes this time. Also, look deeper at what he meant in his own mind. After that failed assassination attempt and Zam escapes to the club, Jango keeps an eye out for Zam.
Yes,
because she fucks up, and in the moment where she tries to spoils the beans, it points a dart at her. Give me a saber dart and leaves. So basically, Jango Fett spends more time in keeping an eye on Zam more than Padme, because that's not his main goal. That's not part of his main goal. He's trying to keep an eye out for Zam, make sure that she doesn't make any mistakes, like he's just said. You guys see what I mean?
Yes.
Yes, and also him complaining about all those people trying to trace back to one. Well, it's like just saying, oh, this agent, I'll go send this agent, but the agent sends his partner. But then no, if you want to be an asshole, the partner uses his gun and sends a bullet to go kill so and so. It's like, it's stupid. It actually, you realize that
you're not even using this
for not for.
Where is your context?
Also,
that is the problem with your video.
Furthermore, the reason why Jango wants to keep an eye on Zam instead of Padme, and just like we said moments ago, is so that he won't get caught.
Yes.
If he focuses more on Padme, he'll get caught, because Coruscant is with cameras everywhere, security everywhere. So, the sword to save his own ass, he wants to keep an eye out on Zam instead.
Yes.
Yes.
So
that's why they sent the droid and have bugs to kill her.
Yes, they don't want to. They
It's
don't want a whole lot of trouble.
It's a very clever way for assassinations if security is tight.
Yep.
Yes. Whew.
Anyway, press on.
But instead, he goes out of his way to assassinate the person he hired to assassinate Padme.
God damn it! Are you done yet?
Really genius these prequels are. Many original ideas these movies have.
The prequels, while suffering.
What's going on? The video's flipping out.
No, I just threw the headphones close to the desk.
For fuck's sake, she was about to tell him who was behind it. So yeah, therefore that negates your point. Just
not to.
God damn it, Cosmonaut.
To expand what you just said. Expand that because she made that mistake of spilling the beans. Django has no choice but to kill her because A, she failed, and B, so that Obi-Wan, so that Anakin, especially Obi-Wan, and even others, even others won't know, won't even trace Django.
Ugh, good.
He's such a fucking idiot.
But because of that part, is reveals to be made in Camino, it allows Obi-Wan to track down Jango Fett on Camino. How stupid are you? How stupid can you be?
Well, he's after saying that to assassinate Padme. You're such. That proves you're such a fucking idiot.
And the worst part is that this video just has more. It just has like what? Let me see how many likes it's got.
It's all the same.
Oh yeah, execute order.
Oh my god, that's creepy. Okay, I don't want to see that now.
I mean,
okay, but yeah, that's just
people
that's just
shit
awful.
about Star Wars. Ranting has became a entire cottage industry.
Good grief. Okay, let's just go.
Many original ideas these movies have.
Many original ideas your videos have. clever ideas your videos have.
Not while suffering from flaws were most definitely Star Wars stories.
So
you're disrespecting. Go fuck yourself, Cosmonaut cunt. You're disrespecting opinions for people who like the prequel trilogy, but yet you defend your precious Disney garbage.
Jeez, no wonder your girlfriend broke up for you, because she liked the prequel and you got so butthurt about it. So, what have we learned thus far, kids? Let's see here. Let me do the dumbs really here. Cosmonaut is retarded, doesn't understand the prequels, keeps on grasping on straws like a strong man, regurgitates relevant media, keeps on contradicting himself, and would even go as far as to have him and his girlfriend break up all because she likes the prequels, and Marcus got so boingly buttered about it. Why isn't this motherfucker been ranted to death yet? Well, not in the death threat sort of thing, like ranted, because you try and type in rant after you type in Cosmonaut right now, you barely get any rants of him.
And a lot of them have a lot more dislikes than likes because, like, his fans are just. I feel like his fans are the ones that are just responsible for the toxicity. Like, his fans are almost as bad, I'd say, as, like, maybe Rick and Morty fans. Because it seems like he's brainwashed them into believing what comes out of his ass. And so, therefore, they have to defend it. Like, I'm serious. There's a comment that on his Disney video that says Palpatine's plans make no sense. This is the same guy that sent a man who sent a shapeshifter, who sent a robot, who sent bugs to kill Padme. Like, he just listened to what he said without actually understanding the movie. So therefore, I don't know what to say to that other than you're only following what this man says.
Mm-hmm.
Did you actually watch the movie?
He did watch the movies, but no. But no. His friends tell him that the prequels are garbage. And not to mention, being a soy boy he is, loves Disney Star Wars, and also shilling for the OT, and has to listen to this, Mr. Fat Fuck Motherfucker, with the goggles, or sunglasses, whatever. And also, as Rick and Morty as a whole, that show is pretty much Back to the Future on political steroids. Anyway, enough said.
Obi-Wan
Very
manages to track down the assassin, and he finds him on a planet called Camino, a planet where they are growing clone soldiers. And what is truly strange to me is that wise Jedi Master Obi-Wan goes to this planet where he literally sees the clones being grown and trained, and he learns that Jango Fett is the man that the clones are based on. Jango Fett lives in this facility. He also learns that Count Dooku hired Jango Fett, and he
No.
Newt Gunray did. Dooku requested Jango Fett for a clone army.
Yes. And he only knows him as Darth Tyrannus, Count Dooku's Sith name.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannus did send Jango Fett to kill Padme. Two of the tasks are different from each
Each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's something that we learned towards the end of the movie. So
Jango Fett has a task for Dooku to have a clone army, and Jango Fett has a request from Newt Gunray to kill Padme.
Yeah.
So yeah, because he's a bounty hunter, that's what they do. They do it for the money, and yeah, like Anomaly said, the Republic could hire him if they wanted.
Yeah.
Not to mention Gunray having a grudge against Padme, all because his precious little control ship has been destroyed since like the Phantom Menace at the end. So
Bounty hunters have a true neutral and or chaotic neutral alignment.
Yep.
Mostly.
Yes.
He later finds out that Count Dooku and Jango Fett are evil.
No, not exactly.
Well, evil is a point of view, Cosmonaut.
What Jango Fett is doing, yes, he does evil deeds, but it's not for him being evil because he's evil. He's doing it just to make a living.
Yeah.
Just so he can make money, he can set up his home, places, equipment, everything.
Yes, and he asks for a son, a modified clone of himself. And so therefore, yeah, he's just, like you said, chaotic neutral. And Dooku, well, is a fallen Jedi. He wasn't
lawful evil.
Yeah, well, again, we'll talk more once we get through to that one.
Yeah, like...
And yet never at any point does he figure out that Dooku and the clones are connected in any way.
That's because Jango says he was hired by a man called Tyrannus. Obi-Wan does not know that is Dooku's Sith name. Okay?
Also, Dooku being evil, he's doing this for political reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like he says, like Keanu Moody says, he's a political idealist, not a murderer. And Obi-Wan, he offered mercy for Obi-Wan a few times, saying that if you join me, we could kill Sidious together.
Right. Mm-hmm. That was the part. That was the first time he offers mercy.
Because they're both upset about they miss Qui-Gon Jinn so much.
Mm-hmm. Also, not knowing what Dooku's Sith name is. Remember, Anomaly said that the Jedi, I think was it Arakin? I can't remember correctly. I could be wrong, but remember how Jedi? Remember how the Sith that's clowning Jedi's fonts is pretty much equivalent to a kryptonite. So yeah, this right here is no exception. So if I'm correct here.
And he offered Obi-Wan mercy again, says, like, okay, back down, or you're gonna die, or you'll die.
Well, but as he's shooting force lightning at him, which Obi-Wan blocks with his saber, so I kind of feel like he was just Well, I feel like he was doing it in a forceful way that time, just to make sure that Obi-Wan didn't try to attack him.
And when he sliced Anakin's arm, he had a regret that he didn't want to do, but had to.
Some people say that like the look on his face after he cuts off his arm is like just due to his old age, but I feel it's just kind of up for debate, like whether or not Dooku is actually like feeling regret in that moment,
or just coming embrace more to the dark side.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like parallel to how Anakin, like after slaughtering the Separatists on Mustafar, then sheds a tear because he realizes how all the horrible things he's done, but that there's no going back now.
It's like that Dooku and Jango Fett aren't actually speaking of evil. They're like being puppets of evil.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is given all of the information to figure out that the clones were paid for by the bad guys. And yet
he isn't.
No, but
he was only told a certain thing ordered. Yeah. He was only told that it was Tyrannus who requested it, and that Sifo Dyas had also ordered a clone army in the past and was killed 10 years back.
Yep.
And also, Palpatine wanted to use this as an advantage to gain power.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Also, it should be. Also, speaking of that, Sifo Dyas, it should be known that the archives of Kamino being wiped. Could Sidious be responsible for it? It's still a mystery. But
yes.
It's a mystery. That's up for debate. Ambiguous. About as ambiguous as Knight's gender.
Yeah, I guess so.
Doesn't matter, because I guess he just forgot. If Obi-Wan just remembered that Dooku and the clone...
He didn't know Dooku's name was... Sith's name was Darth Tyrannus.
Yes, he's not given enough information that Dooku and Tyrannus are connected, so shut up.
Are connected, he probably could have stopped the whole war. He could have...
No, unless he captures Jango Fett and question him, maybe, but it was too late for that.
Mm-hmm.
As Mace Windu just killed him.
Yep.
Saved the galaxy. It's such a small thing that would have changed the entire course of the Star Wars saga. And it's just based around Obi-Wan forgetting a crucial piece of information. So anyway, that's the A plot, and it's dumb as fuck. But meanwhile, we have the B plot.
Okay, hold on. That's the A plot. That's all you're gonna give, is that you just think that you're just gonna say, because Obi-Wan forgot, this A plot is dumb as fuck. That's hardly an explanation of it.
Keep in mind, we're watching a cinematically illiterate critic, quote unquote, who quote unquote reviewed the original trilogy in like what, 10-15 minutes, and look at here, in this video, part 2, he's nitpicking, grasping at straws while regurgitating Mr. Plinkett's dick.
Yes.
Keep in mind, you got this person who's obsessed over visuals, so much over substance and storytelling. There can't be one or the other. You can't have one or the other. You gotta have both style and substance, not substance over style like the Quentin Tarantino films. Well, even though they have lots of style in them, well, overrated style at least, and you can't have style more so over substance like the Disney Star Wars movies and sequel trilogy as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just a way to manipulate the audience to fit his own agenda.
That's why I find Pulp Fiction overrated for that reason, especially Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2.
Oh boy, I just ain't got nothing to say other than 66K likes over something K dislikes.
8.8K
this is
dislikes.
It's it's just sad at this point.
Yes. I know Watch Mojo made perfectly sense, but
Yes, I mean, how can Watch Mojo get that many dislikes on it, but Cosmonaut gets more when he doesn't even make good points half the time? I feel like even if I was a big fan of this guy, that I would say this video is not good.
yes, same here.
And it's just as bad, because George Lucas does not understand romance. In this movie,
Yes, he does. He's inspiring like old classic romance.
Casablanca. What other movies that was he inspired by? Oh, let's see, Romeo and Juliet, and oh my god, Cosmo.
The Giant with James Dean.
Yeah, and when you think about it, but from the environments that they come from, is that it actually makes sense that that the dialogue would be this awkward, and I can at least give him points for not just playing the sand quote.
And also, Rebel Without when it comes to Anakin's characteristics, Rebel Without Cause, but God, Cosmo, you just fried my mind.
Yeah.
Please, next.
Yeah.
Please.
we get to watch Padme and Anakin flirt and go on dates, and this wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't so painfully written. Half of the shit they say to each other is pretty cringe, bro.
It's not
everything's
cringe.
No, at least he's not using the sand quote, which is
Oh,
exactly
thank
at
God.
this scene right here.
Yes.
soft and smooth.
Also, also Star Crossing. I think Star Crossing. Also,
Yeah.
Star Crossing. In case you didn't know, Marcus.
which
Yes,
is which John Williams made Across the Stars as of George Lucas' request.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's still it's still a powerful song, I feel. And when it comes to the subject of, it's star-crossed lovers, because she grew up in an environment with water, he grew up in an environment with sand. It's two things that cannot mix, but it happens that way. So therefore, that's why it's awkward.
When combined, you get actual beach.
Yes.
And people like
That
to
is
use
true.
the sand quote out of context.
Domesville, one of Oliver Harper's mods, and all other prequel haters who regurgitate regular meal.
I wouldn't say that these two characters don't have any chemistry, because it's not really like that at all. I think that they could have made something work if they were better directed and if they had a better script. I mean, look at the scene where Anakin talks about how he just murdered a village full of people. This is how you can tell it's the director's fault, not the actors.
No.
This could not be a further example.
I'm a Beck.
Hello.
Hello. You missed a whole bunch of douchebaggery, and now you're here for
more shit.
Yeah, just more criticizing without actual context of certain things.
Want me to show you? You want me to show you that punchable moment at the end of the video?
No, just
Actually,
don't want to take too much time.
Please.
Yeah.
But
save it for later.
We're gonna get to another punchable moment soon, though.
Okay.
Yes, it'll be fine.
I killed them. I killed them all.
Natalie, can we get a reaction to this, please?
They're dead.
She doesn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you react in a way like that?
You'd be shocked, but not in the over exaggerated part. You're stunned.
Any reaction? George, that's your job. Tell her what to do.
No,
she's trying to listen to what she's trying to take it all in and understand. The way that, I do kind of agree, though, is that the way that she responds is a little bit silly. She just says, to be angry is to be human. After he just said all that horrifying shit, I feel like her reaction could have been a little more scared sounding than that.
Yes.
Come to think of it, the more you think about what Anakin said, the more horrifying it is. But no. These people want to take it out of context, turn it into a comedy skit, quote unquote. This is why I can't take inner critics seriously. Because instead of actually critiquing things, they just want to meme about it. Doug Walker.
Yes, that I agree with that. Like, so many critics are so focused on making jokes that they forget to critique a lot of the time. So therefore, it just comes off as them saying things without actual context, and them just saying, and then just saying things that are simply not true about it. So therefore, it becomes frustrating that way.
And then Doug Walker says Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones are just pointless. Then Episode 3 wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Also, remember that line from Suburban Commando? I was frozen today. That died out like a fried banana.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Oh, look at this. First we had jumping the shark, nuking the fridge. Ladies and gentlemen, this is frying the Coke.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not how memes work, Doug.
No.
Help her help you, George. So these two really dumb plots converge on Geonosis, where we can have our dumbass final battle.
This is a great final battle.
Dude, I was always pumped up whenever they would come into the factory and stuff, and I was like, wow, this actually looks great.
Geonosis really pumped me up.
I don't mind it. I think it looks fine.
And the end of this movie has now devolved into a dumb CGI action climax, and I personally cannot stand it.
So, hold on.
Oh, what?
You said that the CGI in the prequels looks perfectly fine in your big rant at the end of your Return of the Jedi video, and you showed footage from Attack of the Clones too. So, yeah, that's pretty contradictory right there.
Yes.
Also, if you would have dug deep into George Lucas's inspirational line, you would realize that this whole Geonosis factory is not only echoes Mustafar, coincidental or not, but it's also a homage to one Charlie Chaplin's short films, Modern Times.
Yeah, I saw that too. Mm-hmm.
What is up with these memeable critics?
I do not know.
Honestly, the name Cosmonaut Variety Hour at this moment just sounds enough like a meme.
Yeah.
If you were to make a joke of, hey, make a joke. Okay, Cosmonaut Variety Hour. There's your joke.
Yes.
Boring if it just shows up for no reason. So then to end it all, we have a lightsaber fight.
Okay, could you show more examples? And then he just cuts to the final battle with Dooku? What about the big
That was
arena?
a weird ending choice.
And then also with Cosmonaut with the CGI part. Practical effects good, CGI bad.
Also, in case you didn't realize, prequels uses practical effects too, not just sets, miniatures, models, motion control. And you guys never ever take a one single fucking look at those webisodes and those behind the scenes footage out on the DVD, 2-disc DVD, and Blu-ray releases. How stupid can you guys get? And now you're cutting to the final confrontation. It's not over yet. You got before that. You got the Geonosis era. You got the Battle of Geonosis. And you got this squabbling moment between Anakin and Obi-Wan when Anakin told says the commands to put the ship down because Padme fall off. But,
yeah. You missed a huge majority of it, and it's there could have been a lot more to talk about there, but no. Then I got to make this video 45 minutes, so therefore, yeah. And also, I just this is Obi-Wan's face, just as represents the pain of us going through this.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I just make perfect pauses right there.
Yes.
It's probably the worst one in the entire series. I don't even need to explain why.
Okay, then explain.
Yeah.
Okay, worst one in the entire series. I'm sorry. The Unusual Suspect already took that similar line. It's easily the worst duel in the series.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
not.
no. That spot belongs to either the Praetorian fight in The Last Jedi, Kylo and Rey's fight on the ruins of the Death Star in The Rise of Skywalker, or the very first fight between Obi-Wan and Vader. Because, well, yeah, it's dated,
And
Yes.
outdated.
also Finn and Rey versus Kylo Ren on during destruction of the Star Killer base in The Force Awakens. So
But yeah, come to think of it, I think they're all just equally shit. Like
No,
it
the
just looks like
shittiest
two
one.
kids swinging their bats.
The
and
shittiest one
also
is probably my personal worst is Luke versus Kylo Ren. Me personally.
same, and also
Yeah.
the Red Guards versus um Rey and Kylo. That was shit.
Like, yeah, in the first frame, we see a guy spin around and purposefully miss Ray. Like that
Well,
was laughable.
And also the catch shot with Kylo Ren bl- lightsaber pops up on the guard's head.
also, that disappearing knife, you can clearly tell it was digitally edited out. You didn't even hear a
yeah,
click. Like it
people still
disappears like
defend that.
a CGI film. Also, yes. Also, don't get. Also, what I said like during the previous stream. Don't get me wrong. This dual tool also has continuity errors. In fact, when Obi-Wan throws Anakin that blue lightsaber, Obi-Wan suddenly vanishes, and not to mention when Dooku cuts down Anakin's green replacement lightsaber that had been severed and onto the floor, that disappeared like a couple shots later. And also when Dooku severed Anakin's lower right arm, it hit both his lower right arm and the lightsaber that's holding it disappeared. This vanishes out thin there too. And
Yeah.
then not to mention that the duel between Yoda and Count Dooku, the Yoda's cane disappears on the ground and then reappears after Dooku escapes. So
Well, yeah, see, those are the kinds of continuity areas that you would only spot, like if you're doing like a dissection of the fight choreography and stuff. But really, like it's stuff that you wouldn't notice because, well, the way it's edited.
yeah.
So therefore, I just feel like him saying that this is the worst fight because I don't even have to explain it. Never mind. You guys just know it is. Like we know that it is. Like no, you got to explain it, man.
Explain it why as it is. If you think this duel is worse than, I don't know, Luke versus Darth Vader in Episode 5, then you are going to have to prove it because with the way I'm seeing this duel, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. And for those of you who say that the Luke versus Darth Vader duel in the best in class processing vein, yes, it's called processing vein. And The Empire Strikes Back is better than this one. What the fuck are you talking about? That duel. Okay, yeah, it's a step up over Darth Vader versus Ben duel and New Hope. That shit, especially the fact that people consider Empire Strikes Back as dark and gritty. Overrated. Not to mention that
Yes.
too. Like Episode 2 is also prone to continuity errors. When Luke gets sucked out the window, for some reason, the remains of the broken glass window vanishes out thin air. Not to mention Darth Vader's lightsaber, like just the blade. He turns off his lightsaber off screen weirdly because in the weird editing, like way it was edited. So, but overall, I find that duel over in Episode 5 overrated.
You know what? That's fine then.
And Teddy Rupskin
like
says
it.
the best fucking lightsaber duel.
Like they probably only watch like those analysis videos that like describe every detail of what the character's feeling and just go by that.
Don't
Like
watch full fat videos. Just those don't bother them.
yeah.
Yes. Well, I bet your ass I'm getting to Teddy Rupskin soon.
Well, the re-upload ones if they're available. That re-upload form.
Yeah, there are re-upload. There's archive videos that are getting re-uploaded. So there is one video that got re-uploaded that the prequels ruined it all. So we'll watch that later on.
Because of his review on Bible Man is what got him terminated. All because he reviewed Bible Man. Bible Man.
Oh my god.
Wow.
What an
You two.
idiot.
Uh,
Well, that guy's an idiot dumbass anyway, too.
Yeah, he's just as punchable, I feel.
he shouldn't be like terminated, but just allow Leafy is here. They both shouldn't be terminated, regardless.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get back to this.
Right, I'm just going to show you guys a clip of the fight, and I want you to know that I did not alter it in any way.
It's
Everyone
keep see it's tension. Tension also gets to showcase the light reflection on the faces.
It's called.
Wants to amp it up a little.
Like, yes, Anakin killed the lights to increase the tension, and you can still hear them hitting their lightsaber. So it's not like they're just swinging it around like a light show, like all you people like to say.
But what do you? But what do people, including? What were you about to say, Reptile?
You can literally tell it's supposed to be tension for a reason. People in action movies who basically involve the dark and such as that, it's a thing in movies.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's more realistic. Of you wouldn't be able to see too much of it, well, because it's too dark, and that's how the lightsabers illuminate things.
But what does people who hate this duel, including the unusual suspect, label it as? Shitty ass close-ups. Also, they think that the duel. They also think that the duel in the duel in episode, at the end of episode 1 is better than this one. No, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the duel in episode 1, but saying it's better than this one.
And yet you hate episode 1.
Yeah, it's like that's a bit of a overstep right there. But not to mention, as I was saying, what do people, including usual suspect, labels do as shitty ass close-ups, and also some moment, and also in that the unusual suspect review episode 2. Guess what he did? And during this moment, it shows him like flicking his lightsaber, blue electronic lightsaber back and forth. Drunk, when he's saying drunk and fight.
Oh my god.
What? Hey, press on.
This is the most boring choreography I've ever seen. The only
no, this choreography brings out tension to the fight.
Dude, you
like
seriously
we said
think
earlier.
You seriously think that's only 10 seconds of like a 3-part fight? Like the first is with Obi-Wan, which we get a good amount of choreography. Second is with Anakin, who uses 2 lightsabers. Then we see Yoda for the first time using a lightsaber, which I'm sure like a lot of people were interested in. But oh god, no.
Here comes this part. This ought to be interesting.
The only time it's visually impressive is when Yoda enters the battle, and while it is impressive that the Dooku stunt double is fighting with literally nothing and somehow making it look convincing, it doesn't change that this is by far what I consider to be the biggest problem with these movies. This problem is at the core of what I hate about the prequels. And that problem is Yoda. It absolutely blows.
Is Yoda?
Do you know that this movie takes place 20 plus years before the events of Empire Strikes Back?
Exactly. And by episode 3, and during episode 3, when he's confronting Darth Sidious used Force lightning against his lightsaber, and it fell on towards the ground, towards the floor of the Senate chamber.
And
basically, he lost his lightsaber.
And Yoda would never use it again.
Good grief. It's not only like, that he thinks that Yoda is acting out of character, but he uses this like kind of strawman argument to go towards like people who hate the sequels and everything.
And he's regurgitating from I Hate Everything, which I'm also going to get to as well.
Also, even the unusual suspect is this duel for some reason, but it's fine with Yoda battling Darth Sidious in episode 3 and his in this episode 3 review. What? Look, Ross Thompson, aka the Unusual Suspect. You gotta be more specific. Stop parroting what these dumbasses on the internet say. You like the prequels going up. Just appreciate them. Don't just peg them down a little just for the clout.
How does Yoda be like the biggest problem with a trilogy? Like just one character?
It's just a duel.
Yeah.
Uh,
What's the issue with that?
Got it. Oh no, he's supposed to be wise. He doesn't need a lightsaber to get his hands on.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Even-
Remember the scene
Even the
in the Empire Strikes Back? Oh, this is about your mind, not the muscles, not that crude matter. Like,
I mean,
what Yoda means is like they're keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
yes.
also,
Hey.
also, if even doesn't have a lightsaber, what else is yours going to use for defense and offense? His own force powers? God, you need to be more specific.
And also, there's going to be a comparison for why sequels work and why prequels don't.
Of course.
Yeah, let's get to it.
It blows my mind that people don't have a bigger problem with Yoda in this trilogy. Because if you ask me, this is blatant character assassination.
No, it isn't. This is just what I said. This is 20 plus years before the events of Empire Strikes Back. You dumbass.
I'm going to say this right now. Cosmonaut's intelligence and its logic and narcissism, and his parent use of narcissism, I mean, is what causing his intelligence IQ to go and his own logic completely and utterly and toiletly backwards.
This is like an I hate everything and Stuckman point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they said the same thing too. Also, like, oh, characters acting out of character, and like, why is Yoda using a lightsaber? I think that's stupid. What he shouldn't be.
It's
Like,
a
yeah, it's
Jedi
a Jedi
signature weapon, you retard.
He's
Yes.
defending Obi-Wan and Anakin, who Dooku just wounded,
Not as
And he's
clumsy
also-
or random as a blaster.
and he's
And
also
we're
trying to confront his old apprentice, who again turned away from the Jedi Order.
And also an elegant weapon for the more civilized age.
Yes.
Cosmonaut complaining that Jedi use lightsabers to fight. So uncivilized.
I'm so glad
Yoda
Robot
without-
Head. I'm so glad Robot Head enjoys the prequels more and more over time.
Yes. And same with Jeremy Johns now.
Mm-hmm.
Lightsaber fills me with so much dread, and honestly, I can't explain it.
It's a Jedi signature
just like you can't
weapon.
explain any other. Just like you can't explain any other points. This whole video should just be called "These movies suck and I can't explain it," because I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Also, fun fact, I remember watching these. The prequels are better than the originals videos, like 12-minute video. You know what I mean? It has a thumbnail with ripped Jar Jar Binks on it. He prefers the prequel version of Yoda over.
Oh, if you're
Huskies.
wondering what's going on in the background,
Yeah.
that's basically my dog.
I hear it. Yeah.
Shut
Yeah.
up, Zoe.
Also,
Gosh.
anyway, as what I'm saying, that video I just watched, the prequels are better than the originals with the thumbnail that shows a ripped Jar Jar Binks on it. At the end of the video, he says he prefers the prequel trilogy version of Yoda over the original trilogy Yoda. He refers to that one as a Sesame Street Muppet.
Hey, well, there you go. There's all you people who praise puppets and hate on CGI. Well, guess what? There's people who disagree with you.
All right. So, Cosmonaut, what are you going to bitch about yet? Yoda beat CGI?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I
don't get me
would.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. The Blu-ray releases of the Phantom Menace actually has a puppet Yoda because they want to make him look old. Until they realize, and not to mention, they wanted to make a CGI Yoda, but for some reason technology won't allow it. But come episode 2, that made it possible to actually make Yoda into CGI. And then the Blu-ray Lucas wanted to touch up that puppet Yoda and
Again,
CGI.
I'm sorry.
And
That's just a
also-
dog.
And also, they used the CGI Yoda in the Phantom Menace 3D re-release in theaters.
Yeah, like I for one, like I will say this about the original puppet version. I thought it was like more of a younger version of Yoda, and like having it changed to CGI I think is fine, but it's like he looks too much like he does in Revenge of the Sith, and like the way he looks in Attack of the Clones just looks, it's compared to that, it kind of, I'll admit, looks unfinished at times, like towards the end of the movie where he says begun the Clone Wars has, like some of his model looks kind of ugly there.
Inconsistent. Not so much the fabric, also inconsistent. And Attack of the Clones, sometimes you can tell it's clearly keyframing. Other times they loosen up the fabric on his clothes. So.
Oh, Zoe.
Yeah, that's my dog.
All right, well, let's just...
not Nico, the other husky.
Remember when I praised the scene from Empire where he has this beautiful speech about the Force? Well, all of that understanding and wisdom is gone in these movies.
Because it's the prequels, that's why.
Of course.
Yes, with age comes wisdom.
Seriously, does he not understand prequels?
No.
They came before the original trilogy. Before the original trilogy, not after the original trilogy. Like the year they were made makes you think. It's an episodic order. The prequel trilogy takes place before the original trilogy. It's 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6, and not vice versa.
Sorry, Ashley. Can you get Zoe to stop, please?
I am sorry. I'm sorry about it. Go on, Zoe. Out. Go on. Shoo. Come on, you. I'm trying to move her out, but
Carry her.
I swear she's not.
She's just barking loud.
moving.
That's all.
I don't know what she wants.
Well, she probably just wants attention, maybe. Well, okay. Well, okay. Sorry about that, people.
Again, I am sorry.
You can always mute your mic if you want.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's continue.
Yoda never makes a single good decision in these movies, and it's because he always says, "Oh, the dark side is clouding my judgment." Come the fuck on, man. I need real plot elements because this shit isn't working. I should never see Yoda directing troops of soldiers. I should never hear Yoda say these words.
Concentrate all your fire on the nearest starship.
Seeing Yoda doing ninja flips.
For fuck's sake. Okay, first of all, Yoda not making any good decisions. Could you maybe show an example, perhaps just once, please, for fuck's sake? And second, the dark side always clouding his vision. Well, I can say that could have been like better explained a little bit, but
just in episode 3.
But really, him like trying to say, "Oh, concentrate all your fire on those ships." Yeah, those ships are going to incite conflict in the galaxy if they get away. What else is he supposed to do?
Ballet dance? What? Would you bitch about that too?
No, he'd probably say that was in character.
Because Yoda's in a life or death situation. He's got no time to ballet dance against Dooku or the droid army in the middle of a battle.
This is not a children's musical, Cosmonaut. This is not a children's musical film. If you want to be more ironic, this is not Little Shop of Horrors, directed by Frank Oz, who voiced and puppeteered Yoda. Food for thought.
And voiced him in the prequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
For episodes 1 and 3.
Yeah.
I think they used a green puppet instead. A full green puppet.
I see.
Yeah.
And a mock-up. A standard mock-up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Is just so upsetting for me, and maybe this is why I like that Luke dies without hitting anybody with a lightsaber.
God.
I have my problems with The Last Jedi, but this is how a Jedi should operate in my mind.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa!
Goodness, fuck! What the
Said you had problems? You had
fuck?
problems?
First off, the prequels are before the original trilogy. The sequel trilogy is after the original trilogy.
Why would?
And this is
Okay,
character assassination for Luke Skywalker, which Disney is not the original creator, while George Lucas is the original creator.
Mm-hmm.
second, you saying this is how a Jedi should operate in my mind. Well, guess what? You're not the fucking creator of the franchise, dipshit. All right? Just because you don't
Exactly.
agree with the way that Lucas has shown the Jedi to you doesn't mean you can just say this is how a Jedi should be. All right? You didn't
Us,
fucking create Star Wars.
this is George Lucas's franchise, not yours.
Also, quit being a dictator. You're not helping here. You're not critiquing things. You're just taking shots in the man, all because it's a fit your stupid little headcanon fanfic fantasy of yours in your stupid little mind that cannot be copyrighted. Even though the fucking dumbass of your own little dumbass mind of yours doesn't even realize that you and this other stupid bullshit criminally overrated cinematically elite critics, online critics, and the Shield Access Media do not own his very own IP that he created, to quote Donzel, even though the fucking dumbasses like you all bitch about George Lucas all day, yet love the OT, that don't even own the Star Wars IP.
And
Star Wars
yet, Disney
IP.
is known for wishing upon a star of you idiots.
I think this clip will keep going though first.
I love that once Luke arrives on the scene, nobody else dies for the rest of the movie except for him.
And this death pissed me off.
And
Yeah, after having his character assassinated. Also, the reason why the First Order would have been able to kill them is because Rose Tico fucking stopped Finn from saving them.
Yes.
And furthermore, in other words, if if I do a vice versa on your stupid logic, and that's quote unquote duel in the Last Jedi, it is basically a discounted very very final confrontation scene in Escape from L.A., the sequel to Escape from New York. Remember, I don't know if you guys seen that Anomaly's live stream response to Simpsons episode 1 video, but I did a quote. I referenced a quote from what Robot had said. The 90s and 2000s are his favorite era, his favorite era that Ryan ripped off. Yeah, that shows he didn't echo nor homage anything. Ryan just simply ripped off the ending to Escape from LA. And besides, Luke in the entire movie in The Last Jedi is basically Tails. It's basically Tails' personality from Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Forces, and one of the issues, then recent issues of Sonic IEW, of him being a scary cat little bitch because we want to be more like classic Tails or be more like OVA Tails. Then that into Luke, and put that into Luke and turn him into a hermit. What the actual fuck?
Mouse, get off! I'm so sorry. I never thought you stooped that low.
Oh my. That even though Tails looks about can help.
Yeah. And both IDW and Disney are corporate entities.
Tails' character got assassinated. Luke's character got assassinated.
And also
Oh.
Shadow's character got assassinated in IDW.
I'm so glad I bought Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. I'm so glad I bought those games. I'm so glad. Because I grew up playing the classic games via Mega Collection Plus. I'm so glad I got to taste a piece of Adventure era pie.
Yeah, it's a pie that we
play
just don't
it.
get
I
to
did
have
not play
nowadays.
Adventure 1, but I did play 2.
Cool.
That's
Anyway,
good.
press,
then.
A
I'd
Jedi
say
should
the-
work hardest to find a solution without resorting to violence. In episode
Unless if it's life or death.
They're still warriors though. They're just not meant to be seen as soldiers, but they use the lightsaber for a reason, man.
Fight to keep the peace.
And fighting if absolute necessary.
Okay, keep going.
3, when Obi-Wan begs Yoda and says, "Please, Yoda, don't make me kill Anakin," Yoda says, "Sorry, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do." In these movies...
First of all, okay, yeah, pause that.
No.
First of all, the fucking Order 66 has happened, okay? Something needs to be done about it. Second, they realize that Anakin has turned to the dark side and no longer see him as Anakin Skywalker. They see him as Darth Vader, okay? Something needs to be done.
Yoda's number one solution is to kill the bad guys.
What? They're droids! They're battle droid units! How is that killing? You're just killing droids.
They're scrap metal.
That are
Cheap-
in kill mode.
Oh my god, this just kills me every time. Keep playing it. I want to...
Never at any point tries to negotiate. He always goes in, guns blazing. This isn't Yoda. This isn't how Jedi are supposed to work. There's zero nuance and zero subtlety.
There's plenty of that. There's plenty of nuance and subtlety. You just don't fucking know it.
Negotiate with droidicas, I will.
Keep in mind, this is coming from a guy who watched the prequels and enjoys them in theaters and on home video and on home media.
You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch, dumb bastard! Jesus Christ, I met some dumb bastards in my time, but you outdo them all. Get over there!
These movies just tell you flat out what is going to happen, and then those events happen. There's nothing to surprise you.
That is a problem with prequels in general, is that, well, if they're prequels, then you already know what's going to happen in the original story. But
of course.
That being said, there's still a lot to not predict about certain things. Like, we didn't know what the hell a Clone Wars was. We didn't know that Dooku was Tyrannus. We don't know that, that Anakin was going to have more nightmares towards Padme, and she was going to end up dying in the next movie.
We don't know what Palpatine's movements were.
Really, we didn't know that Obi-Wan even had a master before. So there's still a lot to be surprised about. Okay, you just have to realize that this was always meant to be in episodic order, but George Lucas did it on episode 4 because of the technology at the time. He had his vision set.
Because if you, like I said, if you only connect the original trilogy, you will only have an incomplete half piece of the entire father and son opera story. That's why you got to have the other piece in order to make that circle complete. Hence the line, the circle is now complete.
Yes. When the Revenge of the Sith DVD came out, it said the saga is now complete. And therefore it still is. Disney does not exist in my canon.
Yeah.
Same.
Maybe with exceptions of Rogue One and maybe Solo. And that's it.
Okay, those are just, side stuff. Just fill in the gaps, nothing else.
Yeah.
Send something in case you pretty much need to make use of it.
Yep.
There's nothing to enjoy. Along the way, you're going to see classic characters acting stupid, acting out of character.
Which is Disney and IDW Sonic.
So you're referring to the Disney trilogy. Well, then you'd be correct.
Yep.
But no, remember, these are the movies that are better than the new movies. Remember, guys, these movies understand Star Wars. The Last Jedi isn't a real Star Wars movie, but this one is. This one gets to be a real Star Wars movie. And guess what, guys? We still have one more to go.
Shut the fuck up.
Out of 10, I hate that you all made me do this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That is perfect. Oh God!
I haven't.
All right, we got one more to go. Let's do this.
I got Sonata.
Oh,
Which,
wait,
Hello,
that
Undertale.
part in that Billy Madison clip means, like, Cosmonaut thinks the Disney trilogy are the better versions than the original creators' prequel trilogy.
no, they're not.
Even though clearly that's just fanfic.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Well, no. Calling the Disney trilogy fanfiction just feels like an insult to fanfiction because fanfiction is made by people who actually like the source material. You want to know what the
more or
Star
less
Wars
an
Disney trilogy
understatement.
really is? It's corporate fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Cultural appropriation. I actually got upset and messed up my voice after recording that bit, so I took a break. Let me guess.
After acting like a jackass.
Your girlfriend.
Because your throat hurts after your punchable voice, having hear your punchable voice. Yeah,
Like
definitely.
honestly, I've never seen anyone so fucking keen on just bashing these movies and bashing people who like them. Like, did these movies kill your parents, man? Jesus.
Didn't rape your child. Why are you bitching over someone's creation that is good?
And yet praising the corporate garbage to the lowest that panders to the lowest common denominator.
About as bad as every single modern Hans Zimmer score after what Batman Begins. Oh Christ! Sorry about that, but I couldn't resist.
Hey, let's do this. We can do Revenge of the Sith.
So this is it, guys. The last prequel, and this is the one that people say is the good one. And I will admit that it's not nearly as bad as the other two, but it's still not good. Watching it.
Of course, you're just gonna say you hate the prequel trilogy is an excuse.
Manning everywhere. Why?
We got like 12 minutes left. We can do this.
Attack of the Clones really fucked me up, guys. But I'm gonna be honest. When I got to this
this
movie,
review
I was
fucked me up for its shittiness.
ready to tear into it, but it's not as bad as I remember. However, this movie still has all the same problems as the last two, except this time you don't feel like you're in a coma while you're watching it. This is the movie that people meme on the most.
Like, seriously, that just relates to all you people who just have such a low attention span because, there needs to be spectacle, there doesn't need to be politics, because politics certainly don't add to the world or anything. No, we just need lots of spectacle, explosions, and one-liners.
It's Michael Bay, what you're saying.
Yes.
It's basically. I found it funny that these millennial critics complain about Michael Bay and his garbage movies, yet they look at that they praise that they enjoy Disney.
My goodness, bless you.
Sorry, my sneezes tend to do that.
So they hate Michael Bay for dumb movies like Transformers, yet they praise the everything shit of these crappy Star Wars movies made by Disney and other Disney movies, including those in the MCU. That, my friend, is not only blatant contradictory, but also blatant utter hypocrisy. He can't take them seriously. He can't take these critics seriously. They're cinematically illiterate.
Honestly, it is hard to at this point when they complain about one thing, then contradict themselves in another. So yeah, it just feels all the same.
And I think these memes have kind of convinced everyone that this movie's better than it is.
No,
because if we have all these
not convince anything about a movie's quality. Okay, it's just that they're funny jokes to make fun of, but it doesn't ruin anything else.
Keep in mind, he said meme. That's all these critics care about. Memes. These millennial critics wants to pander towards Gen Zs and Zillennials and Centennials and even Gen Alphas, just so they can have this humor of being random equals funny.
Do you know what is also memed on? The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and I despise these movies.
Yeah, so therefore it doesn't make anything good. So no, shut up.
Fun memories of it, then it can't be that bad of a movie, right? Kind of reminds me of another movie I've talked about with a rabid fan base.
Oh, I'm gonna get to that soon.
Wait, Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, he did the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Oh no!
And
Not my childhood.
he calls Spider-Man 1 a comedy film.
So, Marcus, you decided to take a giant heaping shit on my favorite superhero and, let's be technical, Sam Raimi movies when I was a little fucking kid. I adore the Sam Raimi movie. Well, mostly Spider-Man 1 and 2. And you decided to take a shit on them just for doing it for the clout? Are you fucking shitting me?
Let's keep this in mind. That movie series was to bring back comic book superheroes to a better light.
Yeah, because after Batman and Robin, we got movies like Blade, and then yes, there's Spawn, but that's a bit of a bump in the road. But that's just me anyway. But we got X-Men, and then we have Spider-Man. Granted, called cheesy for one, but
And Blade 2 the same year.
If it weren't for Darkman, if it weren't for Sam Raimi's own film, Darkman,
which
then
he created,
he won't be sitting in the director's seat for Spider-Man at all.
Yeah, and that's why it's groovy.
and also, the score in the Sam Raimi movies, just the first two by Danny Elfman, the third one by Christopher Young. But the first two by Danny Elfman, who also did music to Sam Raimi's Darkman, is my childhood film music. You
okay?
We'll get to that. We'll get to more of that once we get to the Sam Raimi films later in the future.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm just goofing.
Now, this movie is set during the Clone War. This title crawl explains that Coruscant was attacked and Palpatine was kidnapped off screen. What the fuck, man? Now, yeah, you're supposed to watch the Clone Wars cartoon to see that stuff happening. And it's really cool in that show. But come the fuck on, dude. If I'm showing someone these movies for the first time, this is the dumbest shit ever. This incredibly...
It's encouraging people to go see it.
That's the point of the title crawl in the first place. To give us a whole bunch of information so we know what's going on.
And also, I will send you links to the, from Mecha Salesman or Jake McDonald's extended versions, which are over 4 hours, which Revenge of the Sith was originally 4 hours, meant to be 4 hours.
Yes, you should know that too, that Revenge of the Sith was originally 4 hours long, which, had to be cut down because normally, I'm just going to say this, unless it's Lord of the Rings, I don't think I could watch like another 4-hour movie. Like the movie, like I said yesterday, the movie Interstellar is like, I do admire it for its originality, but it's just way too damn long of a movie.
Significant event is just not shown at all. Honestly, that would have been a really fucking cool intro to the movie. Yeah, it would have made the movie really long, but I don't know, you can trim some of this other dumb shit. Is there any significance to the Kashyyyk?
Brother. Just say things, show no context, blah, blah, blah. Cosmonaut sucks.
I mean, we got links to the extended version if you want to, if I could send it to you, Cosmonaut.
Oh, please do for me, anyways.
All right.
Yeah. You would enjoy them, goods, because there's a lot of, even though I like the prequels as they are, there's a lot of deleted scenes that I actually feel could have also been in the movies too, and just makes us wish for actual extended versions of them,
like the probe droid in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah. And seeing Padme's family in Attack of the Clones. And there was also the political stuff with Bail Organa and Mon Mothma in Revenge of the Sith. Which, would have been good foreshadowing for the
more scenes between Anakin and Palpatine.
Yeah, that too.
Scenes? No. They just wanted to show us Chewbacca, and why does Chewbacca look like that? Is it just me, or does he look weird in this movie?
Seriously that Are you seriously going to nitpick that much? It's a younger version of him.
And this is played by the same actor, Peter Matthew.
Yeah.
And it's just to show more of the Clone Wars. Like, yes. It's
they complain. They just shuffled characters from the original trilogy.
It's to show us more.
Fucking gives a shit.
It's to show us more spectacle, which you also complained about the other movies not having enough spectacle. Now you complain that there's too much spectacle.
What the heck, man? What the actual heck?
What's wrong with your face?
Oh, also, the title crawl tells...
Yep, using Mr. Plinkett's clip.
Hey, don't diss Chewie like that.
I'm gonna make an obvious reference. Play the goddamn Plinkett clip one more goddamn time. I double dare you play it, motherfucker, one more goddamn time. Shit. I screwed it up.
Tells us that there are heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere.
Which foreshadows the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is both the Separatist and the Republic's point of view. They are fighting for their own cause.
Well, speaking of what you said, Cool Cole, without Pulp Fiction, Samuel Jackson wouldn't be the superstar that like he was today. So,
you could say that.
What the fuck does that mean? There aren't any heroes on the evil side. George, you need to proofread your work. So anyway, this movie...
You do need to proofread your work, Cosmonaut.
Also, guys. Yeah. Also, Marcus. This is my. I hate to do this. I hate to ear rape your own ears, Marcus. But this is my reaction. This is my reaction. This is my reaction to this entire video as a whole. You ready, Marcus? You ready, Marcus? It's this.
Oh boy.
Oh wait.
I won't screen share. All right, you go ahead, Grant.
The scream.
Okay, this is my entire reaction to this second part of your stupid Star Wars 3-part series. Who wrote this shit?
Oh.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, back to stream. Sorry about that.
I thought you were going to screen share it. But that's alright.
Starts with something unique to Star Wars. A long take. And right off the bat, it shows us that this movie is actually fucking trying. Now, some people would say that a long take doesn't count.
I must say this, that a long take is, well, it was like what other movies try to start with, is different takes, but yeah, it shows that this movie is trying. No, it shows that George Lucas is really pushing the envelope for his last movie in his saga.
Yeah. Always the end part of the trilogy, George Lucas goes all out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's just how he rolls.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a CGI long take. But that's not actually true at all. It actually takes a lot of work to have a computer render this much shit all at once without cutting. The guys over at the Corridor crew actually have a really good video explaining this better than my dumbass can.
You're right.
Hey, at least you admit it.
Basically, artists have to go in, and then little by little, they build up pieces of it on like individual simulations or setups or environments, and they render them all out one by one. They just put it all together, layer by layer.
So yeah, I think this is a really cool opening, only ruined by the fact that we need to watch Anakin fight these dumb gimmicky robots. And that's kind of a problem that this whole movie has. You might find yourself almost...
Buzz droids are a purpose is to dismantle a ship slowly. It's essentially a means of crippling a ship without having to resort to excessive amounts of explosives. It's actually very interesting. Okay, sorry.
Enjoying a scene, but it just doesn't stop. The scenes in this movie go on for way too long. They really overstay their welcome. Oh, also, we now have Anakin doing something that he didn't...
Again, just complaining about too much spectacle. Now there's complaining... He was complaining about too much politics before, even though there isn't as much, and now he's complaining about action being too long. Like, What the fuck, dude?
You're so hypocritical at this point. You're just contradicting yourself. I don't know. I don't have any more to say. I really don't.
I'm probably gonna make like a video of like every time this man contradicts himself with Star Wars in the
Yes,
future.
since you're allowed back into the studio now.
Sorry, just a heads up. Can't quite get back in until like the end of September, but yeah, it won't be too bad. It won't be too bad.
All right.
Do it all in the last movie. Good deeds.
What? I'm gonna go help him out.
See, in episode 2, Anakin is really fucking sinister. But it feels like George was like, oh shit, I made him too evil. I gotta remind.
He's not evil at the time. He was angry because of his mother's death.
He was
killing the Tusken Raiders.
Yes, it was his fear that was leading into anger. And you should know from what Yoda said what anger leads into.
Suffering.
Hate.
And hate and suffering.
Yes.
People that he's supposed to be a good guy. And now in this movie, he feels like a completely different character than he was in the last one. But these jarring character shifts are not justified within this narrative. We are supposed to see him killing Dooku as a bad thing, but based on everything we've seen in the series so far, there's nothing wrong with him killing Dooku. Nobody said Obi-Wan was supposed to spare Darth Maul. Our heroes never spared any of the—
Because Obi-Wan was in a life or death situation.
Exactly.
And Mace doesn't know who Jango is, so he had no choice to kill him.
the enemies they've been mindlessly mowing down.
Also,
I just like to think—
that head popping out of the helmet. Take note, prequel haters. Take note, excluding you, the unusual suspect. Press on.
that everybody told Anakin that bad guys have to stand trial, even though they don't follow that rule themselves. Again, if you stop to think about the movie, it makes a lot less sense. This is the movie where Anakin's supposed to fall to the dark side, but his—
Of course. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering.
Essentially, like, a Jedi killing an unarmed person is not the Jedi way. But that, I would say that is kind of a flaw of their way, is that, but how, depending on how evil the person is, should it really be done? But in a sense, it should. But that was their biggest flaw, was their arrogance of who is really the evil, and that's, they think that they could do no wrong, and it led to them being hypocrites in the process and doing things that would result in them breaking the Jedi code.
Yep.
And this, Anakin caused hatred for the Jedi.
Because he sees how hypocritical they are, and, well, Palpatine groomed him in saying that the Jedi and the Sith are the same in almost every way. And he is given proof of that by Mace Windu saying he's too dangerous to be kept alive. Like,
And also before any of that happened, even before Anakin realized he's Sith Lord, there's an opera house scene. Remember the where Palpatine tells Anakin a story about Darth Plague, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Well, yeah, I think everyone is memed on that too, but yes.
He skipped that part.
Well, yeah, he does, essentially. You're right.
Not very convincing. From a storytelling perspective, it makes no sense that he changes his mind so quickly based on no information. But anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get to the actual shift in morality.
Do I look
As a whole,
I'm not gonna laugh. I just feel this is sad. I just at this point.
But the editing just makes up for the video.
Wrong reasons.
Well, it doesn't make up for the shitty critique, but it certainly makes us laugh when he at least lands the joke.
This opening encounter isn't really all that bad. There's even some cute banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin. But this is really distracting to me because this is the first time out of all the prequels where you feel like the story being told to you is actually worth telling. This is the only sequence out of all of the movies that's almost consistently enjoyable. If I could rewrite the prequels, I would just—
well, that's entirely subjective.
Oh, he says, if I could rewrite the prequels,
have them set during this movie. If we put—
Of course, yep. He's saying this Dude, this is George Lucas's story, not yours.
Yeah, I find it very hypocritical when people feel the need to like insert their own version of what this story should be, and then go and say like certain things. Oh, why did they change this from the for like for novel based adaptations? Why did they take this out of the story? Like this should have been in there.
Like I'll rewrite this, begin this part there, make Star Wars simple, and have Yoda be full of wisdom and ballet dance.
Yeah, it's just there's just so little self-awareness with these internet critics, and it just shows how like little they understand.
They understand what true filmmaking is. You can tell these guys have never seen a Casablanca. Have never seen Casablanca, nor Ben-Hur, nor Doctor No, and no Modern Times, and not even Sergio Leone movie, and also,
neither any of the James Dean's films.
Also, cute banner. Wait, why do you mean cute banner? Are you trying to say that Anakin and Obi-Wan are gay or something?
Well,
look, Cosmonaut. When George Lucas writes the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan, he goes for A and B, and this is actually a coincidence. But he goes for a more, in a coincidental sense, Sonic and Tails-like relationship as brothers.
Yes. And they had the kind of, I feel like they had the same kind of banter when they were chasing down Zam Wessel in the last movie. And I will say this, I do kind of feel like we could have had just a little bit more of it in Attack of the Clones. Having them be separated in Revenge of the Sith makes sense, but Attack of the Clones, I feel like, they couldn't, I mean, yes, Anakin has to fall in love with Padme and everything, but still, we only get, a little bit of Anakin and Obi-Wan being partners and stuff, and, they separated them.
Yes.
So
Sidious can groom him.
Yes, and I know it works for the story, but I just wish there was, something... Well, okay, maybe I'm just asking for a little too much.
Yeah.
Put the romantic subplot and the Jedi-Sith conflict into the backdrop of the war, it makes things a lot more exciting. I mean...
Then what would be Luke and Leia's existence then?
Yeah, that's the same thing with the last two movies. I don't understand.
And this shit's called Star Wars, and episodes 1 and 2 don't even take place during a war.
Yeah!
I don't have a...
Episode 1 had a trade war. Episode 2 began the Clone Wars.
I'm sorry, no, that's completely false what you just said. Marcus, yeah.
Episode 3, the end of the Clone Wars and the rise of the Galactic Empire.
Yes, and then the war continues between the Rebels and the Empire. Yeah, so therefore, it's still it's a war all the same in the saga.
And Disney listened to you all and said, okay, we'll have an all-out war and practical effects everywhere.
Yeah, and
just
that didn't happen.
Just to cater you.
Literally every opening for the sequel trilogy has to start out with some sort of raging battle going on. If you watch episode 7 after 6 and the title crawl says the First Order has risen, it almost gives you the feeling that victory has not been achieved in the galaxy, which is just unsatisfying. And it's even worse, of course, in The Last Jedi when after they destroy Starkiller Base, the First Order somehow reigns and that they're being chased down and nearly being swept away? What? And then, of course, The Rise of Skywalker with Kylo Ren fighting some random mooks on Mustafar. And then it just... that's okay, it's a short battle, but still, it's it has high energy and it just doesn't stop. That's the biggest problem with this trilogy.
Yes.
Because people have short attention spans.
And always focus on memes over actually critiquing things. What the director's trying to represent.
A lot of bad things to say about the opening of this movie, except that it does kill the pacing a lot. The first quarter of this movie is pretty exciting, but then the movie gets really boring. One of the worst things about this movie is that a majority is based around our characters standing in these cold, lifeless CG environments spewing bad dialogue.
You're so beautiful.
It's only because I'm so in love.
No. No, it's because I'm so in love with you.
I don't want to watch these movies anymore, guys. I want it to be over.
I don't want to watch you anymore. I just want this video to be over.
But we still have one more to go after this vid. Ugh.
Also, further proving your case, Cool Cole. Some of these critics, mainly Oliver Harper and WatchMojo.com, mind you, and I think I said this already, didn't I? But their only thing of research when trying to figure out the film's production and all that crap is through Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not a good source, and you get these critics like Oliver Harper and WatchMojo.com always taking every single edit, every single text from Wikipedia articles, either vandalized or approved, and then you get inaccurate shit as a result, and you get shit that's not even that's not even scholar worthy. That's just blatant college dropout right there.
Yeah, you could just say that those two channels are just the Wikipedia of internet reviews of shit like that. Yeah, you just can't, if you're gonna do a film critique and analysis,
retrospective.
Yeah, do your friggin' research. Don't look up Wikipedia. Don't take advice from other critics. Don't go by what they say. Go by what you say, and make sure that your evidence is factually correct.
To quote Von John, I think was it? I'm not saying correctly, but Von John blog. I need to find the video, but he says this: PSA. What's this guy really bring to the table other than he reads a Wikipedia page and listens to other DVD commentaries? And he's directly implying to all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. It's all he's doing, people. It's all he's doing. Anyway, press on.
The middle chunk of this movie makes one giant mistake in my mind. It splits up Obi-Wan and Anakin. In this opening scene, we get to enjoy our main heroes being together. For the first time out of any of these movies, we actually enjoy watching the main characters. And then George just splits them up and has them go on their own adventures.
Well,
and General Grievous is such a...
Okay?
It does.
Like, okay, yeah, splitting them up in Attack of the Clones didn't give us enough. It didn't give us enough time with them, but doing it in this movie makes sense. Okay, so that Anakin can spy on the Chancellor and Obi-Wan can take down Grievous, the droid commander and everything, and so therefore, the conflict happens, and like, it's just that, saying, oh, this is the first time we actually enjoy them. Well, okay, I don't understand, like, how you can just say that when, like, maybe you could say the same thing about the first movies if you actually pay attention, perhaps.
Reptile. Reptile posted Arnold Schwarzenegger's shop screen from kindergarten up.
Let me see.
Directly applies to Cosmonaut. Spelling bullshit.
What happened?
No, he's watching that Reptile posting in the general chat. So
yeah.
Also, okay, I found the video. Let me
All right.
I also found the video. I found it. It's right here. Over versus on Von Jog vlog. I think we can watch this after we finish. Get done with, dude.
Yeah. Well, let's just.
Let's just continue this. It's a long video, I assume.
No, this one, Oliver Von Jog vlog is very short.
Weird character to me because I know he only exists so that we can have a cool fight with Obi-Wan in the middle of the movie. The villains in these prequels are just so bad. Darth...
What?
No, they're not.
No, they're not. They're iconic.
Yeah, they're
like
very iconic. They actually have personality, unlike the sequel trilogy villains, and they're actually threatening. Like, General Grievous' purpose is that he's the commander of the droid army,
and it's a plot device of what Anakin is going to become. as of General Grievous mutilation, Anakin's mutilation.
I mean, his design is cool, and I always liked him because I liked the thought of like a droid being able to wield a lightsaber and kill Jedi and collect all of them. Like that's awesome.
But
and, like,
I thought he was a droid at first, but no, he's originally a Kaleesh warrior who was a cyborg.
Yeah, and it made me, and then like seeing that close up of him, saying you are doomed, and realizing, oh wait, he's not entirely a robot. I'm like, I wonder how he got like that then. And then it incites more. Yeah, it cites more like backstory for EU, and
you see Obi-Wan opening the chest piece and see his heart.
Yeah.
And you can even see like he has like the lungs that like I'm gonna say that it is canon that Mace Windu like crushes part of it in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, because you can also like hear him like breathing much heavier in the beginning, like because compared to the Dave Filoni Clone Wars, where he sounds of course like the Grievous in Revenge of the Sith, but he coughs a lot, but he's not like breathing very heavy, almost like he just got part of it crushed off by Mace Windu. So therefore, I still consider that moment canon.
Maul is cool, but he gets kicked out of the movies immediately and doesn't even like have any lines. Count Dooku is probably
he didn't need any. He's a silent badass.
The worst Star Wars character of all time.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Fucking sharks, man! What gives?
Oh yeah, sure. A fallen Jedi who became disgruntled with his own order and turns to the Sith for his own causes and wants to take down Sidious. The Lord of the Sith himself certainly isn't an interesting character at all. No, he's not. He's just a generic bad guy.
His existence is truly baffling to me, and he never develops into a real character. Most importantly, he never becomes a real threat.
It's amazing how every time you open your mouth, you prove you're an idiot.
Thank you, Vegeta.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, a Sith Lord who gathers the Separatists, uses it to start the Clone Wars, badly wounds Obi-Wan, cuts off Anakin's hand, is able to fight with Yoda, who is very powerful. Then, in the next time they fight, puts the platform over Obi-Wan's legs, pinning him down, is totally not a real threat.
No, not at all.
And uses Force Lightning, by the way, which is one of the most powerful Sith abilities, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
This man's brain. I just want to dissect it.
And then we have General Grievous, who appears out of nowhere just so Obi-Wan can fight something in the middle of the movie and we can sell some toys or something.
I know it is optional to watch the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, but really, it introduces Grievous pretty well. All right? Like, it should be considered canon.
Yeah, and this is General Grievous made his debut 1 year earlier before the Revenge of the Sith came out.
Well, 2 years earlier, actually. Well, also, funny enough, the 2003 Grievous is actually based on vague responses Lucas gave to Tarkovsky. If you pay attention to the audio commentary of Volume 1 and Volume 2, and because Grievous wasn't finalized at the time, all that George Lucas gave to him Tarkovsky is like he's a Jedi killer, and that he collects collects those lightsaber hilts of every single Jedi he killed.
Yeah,
and the finalized version, he's more he has those traits, but he's more of a coward. And instead, for some stupid reason, these people who shilling for O3 Clone Wars wants to take the version of Grievous in Revenge of the Sith and the one in the Clone Wars out of context. This is just because that the O3 one is badass, and the other incarnations are just cowards. Like, bro, really?
Like, okay, I will say this. I do wish that Grievous in the Dave Filoni series actually killed more Jedi instead of just one Padawan, which he shot with a blaster. But at the same time, the O3 Grievous is just incredibly OP, and it's like yeah, he's a Jedi killer, but taking on like 5 Jedi at one time is a bit ridiculous. Like, he is still just a robot.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I just. What else was I
It's
gonna
just
say?
utterly crazy.
And he's like, he basically is able to just best out 5 Jedi, and then he runs away, and then okay, no, but what I'm trying to say is Dooku tells him when he's training him in the O3 series that if he doesn't have fear, surprise, and intimidation, then it would be best for him to retreat.
Oh,
Because,
that's what I was about to say.
Yes.
yeah. Like, he isn't being a coward a lot of the time. He's following Dooku's advice of retreating when he is in a battle that he can't win. That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, press on.
And then Palpatine is our main villain, but he barely has any screen time until this movie. If you ask me, we should have just...
serious? He has plenty of screen time in the other movies. You just slept through them.
Yes. Also, the Phantom Menace represents Palpatine.
Yeah.
Good grief, man. Do you actually understand what you're saying is just so
idiotic?
Stupid.
Also, Cosmonaut, Naboo. Naboo was Palpatine's home planet. Hence why at the end of the Phantom Menace, the parade music, you could hear echoing of his own signature theme, albeit a beat instead of downbeat.
Right. I actually never knew that until now, which is it makes it more interesting. Yeah.
Just had Palpatine and Darth Maul in all 3 movies.
That would be boring.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Star Wars should be simple.
Okay.
This is just another point that should be added to regurgitated prequel hate. Maul should have been in all 3 movies because if Obi-Wan and him had a rivalry, that would have been incredibly cool. Well, guess what? That would have been boring, and Maul could not represent disgruntled Jedi like Dooku could have. All right,
he serves no purpose, and
like, he's only a Sith and nothing else. He is a pawn. He's a means of an end.
He's
a deadly assassin, a criminal, and a renegade Sith Lord.
He's basically equivalent to Dr. Dooku, and Grievous are basically equivalent to Dr. Bonning's henchmen at this point. I'm sorry for that unfair comparison, but they're basically henchmen.
Okay.
They're not Darth Vader. They're henchmen.
Narratively, it doesn't change very much in the story, and it would have just cemented Maul as a true threatening force. If Darth Maul and Obi-Wan actually had this rivalry throughout all of the movies, that would be the coolest shit ever. I'd probably care a little bit more. But
They
anyway.
do have rivalry in the Dave Filoni series.
Yeah, but guess what? And that's only because you assholes wouldn't stop bitching, all right?
Yeah.
And also, Maul is a real threat because he fucking kills Qui-Gon. And he is able to hunt them down on Tatooine, and he faces against him, and he probably would have killed him if it wasn't for them picking him up in time.
And he nearly conquered Mandalore.
Also, in that snippet of deleted footage, Qui-Gon did a move on Maul, which pretty much echoes and also foreshadows a potential noble end for Qui-Gon that was sadly removed in the final cut.
Oh, good grief. Like, yes.
I'm complaining too much. I should probably talk more about this movie specifically.
Yes, you are. You complained for 39 and a half fucking minutes in this video.
That's all you've practically been doing is just complaining and saying stuff without showing enough context. So, yeah.
It's just really hard to reiterate the same problems I've already talked about in length in this very video. I can only say so many times that the writing is bad, because it is, and it's bad in all of these movies.
You know what? Maybe all you do is just
regurgitate.
All you do is just say and not tell. You know what? For all these asshole internet critics, quote unquote, to always complain about movies these days showing and not telling, telling and not showing enough, they sure as hell don't apply the same to their own bullshit critiques because they always just say stuff and then don't show enough context. Like, I feel they're all hypocritical for that matter as well.
I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love Dumbsville. Of course. They're not film critics. They're not film historians.
They'll just grasp at straws, regurgitate. That's all they fucking do.
Pretty much, it's basically, it's basically equivalent of wanting a video game for your NES. That's what the critics are usually being so pretentious about when it comes to filmmakers doing stuff that go against these critics' own logic and narcissism. They don't care about what the director did this and did wrong. They just want to nitpick, and dictate. As George Lucas said, there's a lot of bad movies that he loves, and there's also movies that are stylishly gorgeous, but he doesn't like them. A la, for example, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And press on.
I've already proven that. It's not fun to sit and watch this movie play catch up and try to prove to us that Anakin isn't totally evil, and to prove to us that
you could say the same thing.
Catch up. If you say that they're trying to play catch up, just fucking play Gen 1, will you? Just play Gen 1 because what you're doing now is trying to play catch up, like your discount Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, and seeing you in that cosplay makes me want to punch you more.
Kill him. And not to mention appreciating The Last Jedi and say it despite and you mentioned the flaw, if semi quote unquote, but you still defend it, and I assume you still defend that totally not Kanto from Gen 1 bite scene and from The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I know it's all the same.
Clap.
Him and Palpatine are friends. It leads to this movie having two modes: way too rushed or way too slow.
Yeah, because the movie wasn't originally going to be 4 hours, but due to Fox having time constraints on George Lucas, Fox cut it nearly in half.
Mm-hmm.
And really.
Oh, be right back for a sec.
Okay, well, he's leaving for a bit.
All right.
We can keep going though.
We'll just wait till he gets back.
Well, what if he takes? I'll just say this about way too rushed or way too slow. Well, first of all, the same could also be said about this video because he spends a lot of time nitpicking things and then he goes and rushes over things and skips over big scenes in movies. But also, I will say this about Revenge of the Sith. There are some moments that are like slower than others, but other than that, I feel like the pacing of this movie is perfectly fine. Like the only Star Wars movie I'd say that has pacing issues is actually, well, I'd say maybe kind of Return of the Jedi because of that like large chunk of the opening like is in Jabba's place.
How about Empire Strikes Back?
But also Empire Strikes Back kind of has slower pacing too, and yeah, because like again, people will say, "Oh, it starts out with the Battle of Hoth," but that doesn't happen until like 20+ minutes or so.
And people who say even when people gave fair review.
What are you doing? What are you singing, Ashley?
Sorry, it's just a song.
Oh, all right.
Even with people like ramble laugh for life, it's to give credit, he did a good job reviewing the prequels because he realized that these old reviews on the Star Wars prequels, they're not his voice. He's regurgitating Red Letter so he thankfully took them down and did a redo of it. And even they give fair opinion on Return of the Jedi. Him and the unusual suspect, and among others, say that Anakin's change to the dark side was quote unquote too fast. But to me, that already started like in episode 1 with him missing his mother, and then in episode 2 when he saw his mother dying.
Yes, I knew that as a child that he was slowly turning to the dark side when that happened. And I was like, "Oh shit! So this is how it happened." Well, I didn't say "oh shit" as a child. Okay, I wouldn't. I don't cuss as a child.
No. Well, I did cuss once in a while as a child. So.
All right, well let's blow this joint and go home, people.
I feel like I could take so many scenes from this movie and either cut them out completely or trim them down.
Well, this is George Lucas' movie, not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it was 4 hours long, so what you got is what you got.
Yep.
The whole Grievous fight is so stupid, and it's just in the movie to stave off our boredom. Yoda on Kashyyyk.
And you say, you're complaining about bitching about action in this movie. What do you fucking want? What do you
Seriously,
fucking
what do you want? You complain so much about politics, but then when a movie has an action scene that's over 20 minutes long, you complain about that? And then you also complain about the text crawls being boring to read. So really, it just seems like you're an unpleasable person.
I find they complain about politics in the prequels, yet they never bother to take one single fucking look at those damn political undertones in the sequel trilogy. Identity politics, anyone?
I mean, yeah, that also kind of concerns me if they can't understand them, about real life politics.
Do you know what I could say about the stupid action in The Last Jedi?
Bullshit. But Grant, but Tyrex, but Cole, but Reptile. This is really bad scene the Star Wars prequels where we don't care.
I love your Dumpsville impressions.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm sorry, but every time I have to do this, let me pull up an image. Let me pull up an image. I'm not gonna do screen share, but I'm gonna pull up an image in the general chat. But let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Every time I do that voice, this pops into my mind.
Oh, I see.
But Grant, there's this really bad scene in Revenge of the Sith where I don't care.
Yeah, just stop your damn bitching, people.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You guys can listen to that later.
All right.
Let's go.
Is just here to give us more fan service, and beyond that, we just
fan service. Okay, this is made by the original creator. How can this be fan service?
Yeah, and it's to add to more of the worlds, like we see where Wookiees come from, which is Kashyyyk.
So hate to be review tech, hate to be rich at Review Tech USA, but you can cry fan service in the prequels. But these quote-unquote fan service are actually serves the basis for the original trilogy. That's what the prequels are for. That's what the prequels are for, to tell the events before the original trilogy. But you're okay with totally not fan service in the sequel trilogy, where it's literally just blatant copy of the original trilogy, complete with film stock, complete with quote-unquote practical effects, and everything that will please your little nostalgic minds. But and not to mention it has CGI in that trilogy. Oh, no, that's not CGI. And that's okay. That's beyond hypocritical. That's beyond hypocritical.
The hypocrisy is strong with this one.
I mean, like that's like me. How can I say this? But I'm a bit lost. But that's like me. That's like me. That's like me. If I say for instance, if I don't like Sonic Mania, which I didn't, and I said I gave every reasons like why Sonic Mania sucks, and then I made this like live without even playing Sonic Mania, and then next thing you know, playing Sonic Mania the first time on a live stream, and here's me I like Sonic Mania, and then people in the chat say, Grant, did you make a video saying why Sonic Mania sucks even though you haven't played it? Yeah, I fucking did. If you don't like the video, you're my asshole.
Oh.
Same fucking thing. It's the same. Sorry if I did the rich of View Tech USA after you called out Rose McGowan that over calling out Fox over a fucking billboard that's to promote X-Men Apocalypse. But it's the same thing. This is why millennial nostalgia is cancerous.
That's why the internet is cancerous.
Cancerous to us Gen
And
Z.
fandoms, too.
Hey, press on.
Have more characters talking about politics. What was it?
Politics, boring, again.
Jack, there's hardly any of that in this movie, too. Most of it is only in, like, deleted scenes. Again.
About politics that had George so horny? I don't think I'll ever understand.
It's to expand the world and create conflict.
It's called world building. World building.
Hey, you ever heard of world building? You freaking bastard.
Also,
Excuse for my language, but it needed to be said.
Also,
so I didn't mean to do the Knight's voice. I just felt that it needed to be done.
All right, that's good. Cool.
Also, Marcus says the guy who mentions the following words: president and democratic. How about you two need to lay off with the politics, you fuck?
Oh yeah.
And George will be the #1 guy to tell you that Star Wars is for kids. Come on, man. George Lucas
It's for a film for 12-year-olds.
Preteens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And
I
most
watched this as
importantly,
a
people
kid,
who
and I
actually
understood it
want
just fine.
people who want something different.
I don't mind the prequels since I was a kid. That's
So
That's
it sounded like Goofy for a sec. I pretty much don't mind the prequels.
That's why I was so into Star Wars as a child, because they intrigued me. And I
Same
understood
here.
them just fine.
It was my first trilogy, and that introduced the prequels and the Star Wars Connections excerpt and on Star Wars Episode 2 VHS that what introduced me to the original trilogy.
I got something to say about this, but crap, it's freaking cold around here.
Yeah.
Too bad. Too bad a certain Lego Episode 2 Obi-Wan minifigure born September 1999 who grew up, enjoyed the prequels, and played Lego Star Wars video games, and also had those Lego Star Wars minifigures in his own bedroom, for some reason got brainwashed by his own friends who now hates the prequels on Sun, did stun on Sonic Gaming NV rant video, and claims that he first saw them and thought they were shitty movies by lying to me, and took a shot at the prequels with the clout in his Raylo video. Dumbsville.
Yes.
Yes, really. I try not to shit on Dumbsville, because I like his content. It's just, again, it's just hate bias towards them.
Also, fuck the word wolf and the maker too.
Okay, so let's go.
Swear to me on your life that you wrote these scenes with children in mind.
Will you defer your motion to allow a commission to explore the validity of your accusations?
So anyway, this movie
hold
only...
on. So Cosmonaut, let me get this straight. You think that children can't actually try to broaden their horizon and understand certain things? I mean, it's not like I was able to... Okay, I didn't understand the full entirety of the politics when I was young, but I was able to understand the story just fine. And also, this is coming from the same... Isn't that the same reason, Marcus, why you hated the show Star Wars Rebels? Because you said it was kiddie show garbage? Okay, then why do you hate the prequels if you think you hate the prequels because they're hard to understand and they focus on politics?
And plus, Star Wars Rebels, whether I like it or not, is not made exactly for children. Yes, they did tone it down a bit, but still not. But it's not exactly kiddie.
Well, it was supposed to be a sequel to the Clone Wars, which was definitely had things on it that were like not exactly the most kid friendly, but still,
like the Inquisitor decapitating the Imperial officers off screen.
Like, it's just like, it's just more contradictory stuff towards Star Wars. Like literally, if we were to watch his Star Wars Rebels videos, we would find so many things that he just contradicts himself in other videos that he says in that video.
What was that girl's name again?
Sabine.
So he calls her a Mary Sue.
Yes.
With no evidence to back it up.
No, and yet he says, everyone in Star Wars is a Mary Sue.
You phrased Mary Sue.
You make no sense, Marcus.
No, you fucking don't.
Also, you think that children don't understand politics? What planet are you living on? So you're basically okay with this little moment in episode 4, which I posted in the Star Wars chat, and that's not considered political worthy?
Yeah.
Contradiction?
I know.
Ugh.
And episode 1 is meant to be a setting-driven story, which episode 4, A New Hope, did the same thing, which is your
And
favorite in the series.
So yeah, therefore, it's just
Kirby
more
has
the
some
same
shot.
bullshit. Let's keep going.
It really starts being interesting again once they find out that Palpatine is a Sith Lord.
A Sith Lord?
But even with this knowledge, the movie still has a distinct lack of energy.
We must move quickly if the Jedi Order is to survive.
Whoa, guys, slow down. My heart's racing. I actually do like slower scenes like this, where it's just Anakin realizing that he's gonna risk it all and interfere with Palpatine's
Finally,
arrest.
a valid
It's just
point.
him wordlessly going through this problem, and for once, it's the movie showing subtlety. The one thing I've craved this whole time. But honestly,
This is the first time you saw subtlety, but not the other moments.
Well, I mean, he was probably
Seriously,
just.
didn't anybody pick it up? Gosh.
Yeah, honestly, I feel that he was just breezing through the movies because he hated them so much that he didn't find any subtlety at all. That's just on him.
You can
And
just
also,
tell-
this is pretty much my favorite moment in all of Star Wars right here. It's just wordless storytelling with so much subtlety and emotion, and it just gets me every time because we can totally feel Anakin going through his conflict if he's gonna risk it all just to save Padme.
And the only person to talk in this dialogue scene is Palpatine in Anakin's mind.
It pretty much is equivalent to a silent film. So all this time, Marcus, you watched all, quote unquote, watched all 3 films that are meant for 12-year-olds and slightly under and up, and all you did was to use the seek to through the entire movie or skip the entire 50 so how bullshit rather be a narrative. That's sick, vicious fucking Press on.
It is too little, too late. This is halfway through the last movie, and we finally have a scene where our main protagonist is showing his internal conflict in a realistic and believable way. Keep in mind that this internal conflict.
So what? Him getting angry and slaughtering Tusken Raiders over his mother dying totally wasn't human at all. It wasn't human at all. Well,
I found it
fuck
to
off.
be
Well,
human.
Fuck you, man. Well, fuck you, man.
Hey, boss, fuck you, man.
Yes.
Conflict is the entire reason these prequels exist. And now, with very little believable internal conflict, we get Anakin just deciding on a whim that he is going to murder everyone he knows and loves. And this is the
Because
main...
he sees the hypocrisy in them.
Did you pay attention
He
to
finally shows hatred for the Jedi.
Look, Marcus, did you pay attention to what Sidious said? Do what must be done.
And show no mercy.
Yes.
Show no mercy.
I know, and people always love to just joke on, oh, he does, he's gonna slaughter younglings just to save his wife. Well, yeah, that's what showing no mercy is, people, okay? That's what Sith do.
And that's what Dooku failed to do. He showed mercy in Attack of the Clones. You saw his flaw in the Sith code.
Yes, and that's what I feel made him interesting. And yet you called him the worst character. Oh my gosh.
main problem with this movie. The whole purpose of this movie is to show his turn to the dark side, but that should have been the point of all of these movies, not just this one. His conflict doesn't exist at all in episode 1.
His conflict doesn't. Yes, it does, you dumbass. You dumbass.
He has an attachment to his mother. That's his fear of losing her.
And he also says goodbye to that old lady in the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, his conflict comes back in Attack of the Clones. And guess what? She dies. And so he slaughters them. And he starts having feelings for Padme in episode 1. And guess what? He starts seeing visions of her dying. So he does anything to save her, like to avoid the same thing happening with his mother. But so he makes a deal with his devil, and essentially he does the bad things, and she dies anyway. He ends up crippled, and that happens anyway. And also,
that's what George Lucas aimed Vader to be, a tragic character.
And people, people always like to theorize that Sidious was able to save Darth Vader by taking Padme's life force, which I do agree would make him the most evil being, but I don't think that's the case.
No.
Also, as I said, Anakin Skywalker is a combination equivalent between Frankenstein's monster in the prequels and come episode 3, Vlad the Impaler, also known as Dracula. He's basically Frankenstein's Dracula monster.
Mm-hmm. That I could agree upon with Jeremy Johns when he walked back on Disney's word.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? Even a guy called I saw a video on a guy called the Critical Drinker who made a video about how Anakin in the prequels is not a Mary Sue and Rey is, and he realizes that it's story-wise it makes sense, even though he still doesn't like the prequels. I think he doesn't like 1 and 2, but I think he likes 3. I don't know.
Because of regular media, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the case with the prequels. The more you actually think about certain things, the more they actually make sense. You just gotta.
It's garbage because there's no emotion. Emotion. Who cares?
Even Mike Stoglasa says, "Oh, the sequel trilogy has emotion, but the prequels don't."
Yeah, the only emotion I get out of the sequel trilogy is one of hatred and disappointment towards Disney.
The only thing coming out of the sequel trilogy is basically laughter. Is pure meme-inducing, pandering, meme-inducing laughter. It is so bad. I want to laugh my ass off. It's so bad. I would rather watch every single Van Damme movie, including the sequel trilogy combined.
What I see in the sequel trilogy is corporatized garbage and frustration.
But what I said there, Cole, is that I would rather watch every Van Damme movie, good or bad, over the sequel trilogy any day.
Okay, I got you now. Yeah.
And it's not connected to the plot of episode 2. If you remove his conflict from that story, it doesn't change anything. So as a result, it leads to this movie feeling rushed. It leads to a turn to the dark side that's not satisfying to watch, because this is the first real movie where we've watched it happen. And now at the end of the movie, we have the last of the dumb shit. The final battle in this movie is pretty important for these characters, but the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin is too long.
Well, it has a reason to be
It's
that
going
long.
all out. That's what George Lucas wants to do for an end part of a trilogy.
Also,
the lightsaber between them is long, but it's never boring because there's a lot of interesting set pieces that it's on.
Heck,
and besides, it's intertwined with Yoda fighting Sidious. And not only that, but essentially it's just Lucas going all out, and it's the last like live action lightsaber duel we would see for 10 years.
Until
essentially.
And then we get a down, and then the next one we get a downgraded choreography fight.
Also, keep in mind 2 things. 1, the people who bitch about fighting in episode 2 are a bunch of hypocrites when they like this duel in episode 3. And 2, the Anakin versus Obi-Wan duel. This is the duel which I tried to convince Alan Xbox is this better than the duel between Sonic and Tails and the that 2 or 3 part
House of Cards.
House of Cards, yeah, that one.
By Ian Flynn. Ugh.
He bailed out. He bailed out of the question. Not even saying no. Was trying to tell. Just proves that he too is regurgitating this stupid hate narrative. I'm sorry. Every time I think of Anakin 01, I always think of Sonic Tales for some reason. as brothers. But I can't believe someone who now he's turning a quote unquote leaf not too recently. Now he's bending the knee to the radical Flint acts now for some reason. And not to mention, keep in mind, Alice Hedgehog, this is the guy who supported Ken Penders. Now also quietly supporting the stupid prequel hate shit for the cloud with alongside Dunsville. What the actual fuck?
It's like I don't know if I want to make a joke like this, but prequel hate regurgitation is kind of like a virus. It spreads so quickly, and it affects a lot of people on the internet. It seems, except there
Yep.
actually is a cure for it, and it's called actually watching and understanding the movies.
Also, Alex Etrox, if you're
Hashtag demonetization.
also Alex Hedgehogs, if you're listening to watching this right now, you do realize that the Archie series before 160 have become the prequels. They become objectively misunderstood because the people who thinks Ian Flynn saved the Song comic are just regurgitating shit from the retarded Bumblecast forums. Not to mention, shitting on Kenders for no fucking reason other than disgruntlement and shit.
Sure. He won the lawsuit and got all his characters back, but that doesn't mean you can't use them anymore. You can use them, but you gotta credit or pay him royalties.
It's really not that hard, actually.
No, that I understand. Like Penders wasn't being greedy; he wanted to escape the corporate making machine.
A la George Lucas, and now you're going to treat him as he's like Satan or something. A la George Lucas, like you're going to treat him as he's a hack or fraud. Give me a fucking fuck off.
And then they go off and praise the corporate entities.
So basically, Cosmonaut is basically the equivalent to Gamer Guide 7 Aces, apparently. Essentially.
Yes, just praise their corporatization. Just like Gamer Guy praising his IDW garbage.
So now
Cosmonaut praises his Disney garbage.
Now we came to the realization that the circle is now complete. Twice the Pride, twice the Sonic, twice the Star Wars, double the fall. So when it comes to damage control, these prequel haters and sequel apologies just regurgitate shit about the prequel being bad. They blame George Lucas for everything, saying that Star Wars isn't for you, spread lies, act like children, or all the above. Oh, may the how exactly says, oh, may the hate. George Lucas is such a big fucking hag. Please praise me, please. We want the money and the visuals and nostalgia.
Yeah, except we don't at the same time. All right, then.
Really nice pause on this. Anyways.
And I shouldn't even have to explain why I don't like this fight. This is a fight between two characters that I don't want to see in a fight scene. But I'd honestly probably hate it less if it didn't end in a ridiculous way. Yoda doesn't even really lose. They Hadoken each other, and he kind of...
Yes, Yoda does lose.
Just gets knocked down, and then he's like, it is over. I have failed. Time to go into exile. What the...
Yeah, because because reinforcements for Palpatine have arrived.
Yes, he
to
sent
aid
it
him.
on screen.
And Yoda would be dead if reinforcements arrive.
Not to mention he finds his lightsaber. Not to mention Not to mention he launched his lightsaber because Darth Sidious just forced lightning it out of his hands and fell into the floor. So
yeah, and it probably might have destroyed it. Honestly, I do think it could have been presented just a little better. Like I do agree with Anomaly a little bit. Like that Yoda could have it could have been shown a little more of Yoda struggling to be able to fight him.
Like there's also a deleted scene where Palpatine goes back up into the goes up in the sky with his Senate shuttle, with his Senate
whatever the thing is.
It's just a shuttle. That's all.
Yeah,
Right.
and the clone troopers show up and firing at Yoda, and Yoda runs and makes his escape. It was like a deleted scene in the movie that didn't make it into the final product.
Well, I feel that could have then at least. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if it was finished. All right, let's go.
The fuck? You didn't even try! Why is this movie so obsessed with just bringing every element back to where we expect it to be for the status quo of the original trilogy to be intact? If Yoda tried to win, but then failed and was like, okay, well, Obi-Wan and I will keep trying, better luck next time, I wouldn't even fucking question it. I wouldn't have left the theater like, hey, what the fuck? He didn't go into exile. There's still 19...
There you go with the punchable personality again.
You just left the viewer happy, to be exact, if I can.
Wow, who's
because that's how it's meant to be watched as a saga. That's how it's meant. That's how the story is meant to be weaved.
Fun fact is,
want to know who basically also has a punchable face?
Who?
Ian.
Silver Fox.
Gamer Guide.
Oh no, not him.
No,
Silver Fox.
He has punchable face too.
Blitz.
Oh yeah.
15 years of story development between these two movies.
I don't want to say why, because I don't want this to get any
trouble. So
yes,
it's fine.
I wouldn't mind if you left some threads open. They shouldn't have just given up after this one attempt. If they both went in to kill Palpatine after this, they probably would have won. That makes the conclusion really
too dangerous.
No.
Obi-Wan is no match for Palpatine. Unless George Lucas said, if you're not Yoda or Mace Windu, you will die immediately by Palpatine.
Yes, he's the most powerful Sith Lord. Like, you saw him cut down 3 Jedi very easily.
And also Kit Fisto got distracted because he sensed Anakin along the way. It was in the novel, but and then his distracting costed his life.
That's what Qui-Gon Jinn told Anakin. Feel, don't think. But Obi-Wan, on the other hand, use the Force. Think. And guess what happened? Kit Fisto got... Also, even if Obi-Wan and Yoda did won, if they won, think about it. If they did won, what's the one thing that'll make this entire circle? There will never be an original trilogy. How illogically narcissistic can you get?
Well, he tries to make a comment saying, "Why does it have to tie into the original trilogy this way?"
Oh, I'm great at editing. That's my job. No one cares if you're good at it or not. All we care about is your points, not just you just spouting bullshit you got from these some pretentious, idiotic internet critics from on the internet. You have nothing to say, honestly.
No. Oh boy, they just manipulate shit to just manipulate the audience. Okay.
So basically, this is the Audrey 2 effect. Frank us humor.
Mm-hmm.
Little Shop of Horrors, anyone? Anyway.
Yeah.
No matter
and unsatisfied.
It's like no matter how much you please these OT fanboys, don't feed the OT fanboys with prequel hate and nostalgia. Just like Little Shop of Horrors. No matter how much they please, how much they desperately please, don't feed the plants.
You feed me. You feed me more. You feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
Feed me with prequel hate and OT nostalgia.
Yes.
That's fine. It is a conclusion that makes our heroes seem decidedly unheroic because they just give up. As a whole, I think it's kind of hard
because they proved no match for Sidious.
Okay. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but now please don't judge me by this. But this guy, what a pingus!
Yes, I needed that.
Hard to say any more about this movie that I didn't already cover in the other reviews because I don't think it's fair to judge these 3 movies individually. You have to.
Yeah, you judged them.
You did.
Because you just did.
Exactly.
Look at them as a unified picture because that was what George intended. So while this movie isn't the worst out of all of them, I still can't forgive it too much. It still has bad pacing, a stupid if understandable storyline, and more of the George Lucas brand bad dialogue.
Don't make me kill you.
5 out of 10.
How is that bad dialogue? It's almost the exact same thing what Vader said to Luke in Empire Strikes Back.
Don't make me destroy you. Like, yeah, that's literally, how is that bad dialogue? Like, you people just find the worst examples.
Don't make me kill you. It's an echo to "Don't make me destroy you." How illiterate can you get?
It's supposed to be and eh.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Like, okay, you could say the delivery is just a little shaky, but at the same time, he's a Sith. He's become a Sith. Sith say things to be intimidating.
Exactly.
Also, in case you didn't know, Marcus, Lucas is more of a visual and experimental filmmaker over an literate filmmaker. The rest is on the visuals over the actual exposition, even though it was kept it was kept with an equal amount of balance to make the story more convincing. That's what makes the Star Wars prequel so good. Am I getting this right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Okay, good. Phew, I was about to mess up. Anyway,
an improvement, but not enough of an improvement. So that was the roughest patch in all of Star Wars. The worst of it is over.
But the worst of it is not over for your videos.
Wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yes.
And I decided a long time ago, before the new movies came out, that we would never see a Star Wars movie as good as A New Hope. And similarly, we would never see a Star Wars movie as bad as Episode 1. And for a while, I thought I was right. I thought, if anything, these new Disney movies would be safe and inoffensive.
Stop.
And you couldn't. And it basically turned out to be the exact opposite.
The face.
Nice pause right there.
Oh my gosh! I make perfect pausing.
Yes,
my gosh! And inoffensive. Okay. Yeah, but let me think. The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. Near the end of the Force the Force Awakens. Yeah, it's totally inoffensive. Am I right? Am I right?
And I have never been more wrong in my entire life.
Oh my god, get out of here with that.
Get out of there.
Alright.
Oh my god. What are we looking at?
No, make it stop.
Make it stop. Make the cringe stop.
Well, that was a fine kettle of fish. How are we all doing now? Are we still alive?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So they were safe, then they were stupid, then they were sad. Well, that was it for the prequel videos. Next time, we're gonna be doing
normally there's the
Disney movies.
Disney video, and I'm gonna have a field day with
Also, guys, hear me out on this one, but done. Done. That's in pure Griffin.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. We got one more, and guess what, guys? We still have one more to go.
God help me.
And after that, it's gonna be. Then after that, I never want to hear that Cuckloid's voice ever again.
It's hell have no.
Until like in the future, we'll cover up the Sam Raimi films.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Every time it just brings me more. Do not go into that video. Only pain you will find.
Especially the Amazing Spider-Man movie. Granted, I'm no fan of those movies. I think they're rich, but yeah, especially for Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man was okay, but opinion viewings, but the video itself, that Cosmonaut name was just him just regurgitating Ralph the Movie Maker's reviews, and oh boy, it's bad.
Yeah. And after like the Cosmonaut Disney movies next week, and the week after that, the following week, we'll be able to do Dumbsville's Raylo video.
We could
That'll
also
be
do.
fun.
I could find some other videos that are just as they're just as guilty as the ones that are easy to target.
Oh crap! I almost forgot. Oliver Harper versus Von Jog Vlog. That short video that we're going to watch after this stream. It's very short, but
All right.
let's
All right,
watch.
well, I'm gonna go, guys.
Well,
see ya, cool.
Okay.
All right. So I'll be able to watch it later. No. So we're gonna end this session, guys. So this is Mr.
Right.
Tyrex.
Cool Goal 64.
And Reptile.
Dragula 95.
I'm Grant Harper, aka the Emotional Guy. This has been a great stream we just had. A very quote unquote great one. Take care, may the force be with you, and let your emotions soar sky high. Take care, everyone.
Peace out and enjoy.